Hello there, gamers. Devi winning the first war today. Good job, Devi, and happy belated birthday. We wished Devi a happy birthday quite a few times yesterday. But, stream needs to know, you know? Alright. So, it looks like our two VOD reviewees are on the ball today, both of them in the waiting room on Discord already. Awesome to see. So I'm going to hop in the VC really quick. And I think they're both going to be... So it would be a good rotation to have Devi on, I think. Have a backliner. Okay. Let's bring in one of our guards. Thank you for your service, Rice Cooker Cat number 2. I like that we've discovered that this is an entire genre of cat photography, cats and rice cookers. Hello, Ridalio, and there's GamORDoodle. Yeah, Devi, hop on in. We are now joined by both Kirb and GamORDoodle in the VC. They're muted at the moment, but they are here.
Hello.
Welcome to you guys. Hello. I am going to turn you way down, because both of you are loud.
That's Discord for you.
Discord.
Whee!
Uh-oh.
And I am going to send you guys both in DMs the password to the lobby so that we don't share it over the air and end up getting joined by like 50 people.
Oh god.
That would probably be a good idea.
Yes, very good.
Sent to both of y'all.
Go.
I got it.
In a minute, I think.
Cool. Backline rotation.
Yeah, I was saying I thought it might be good to have a backliner for this one.
Did you accept my friend request already?
That is a good question. I might not have done that yet.
Phrase that bit, yeah. That
Shame on you, Jerry. Shame on you.
I have 20 of them, okay? There's a lot.
I know.
I'm at the point where I'm starting to ignore them. So there's Kirb.
Right. Right. I don't need to restart. I'll just hopefully update by itself. Once you're there, you go.
Okay. And GamORDoodle, do you have me added already?
Yes, I do. I'm already in the room.
Okay, cool.
Right, I see it.
You didn't see that? GamORDoodle was in the room before me.
Yeah.
All right, you know what? I'm not good at thinking sometimes, okay? All right, and Rice Cooker Cat is still in position.
I'm waiting for the game to even say that the lobby's joinable.
Yeah, I actually, because I went to accept the friend request, I got kicked out of the lobby, so I'm rejoining it now, and you should be able to see it soon.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Thank you, Rice Cooker Cat number 2. You have done your job well.
Oh my god, I need to go and change my voice settings so that Splatoon doesn't get in there.
Hey, Octophones, congrats on the A rank!
Woo! Pom
Yo!
poms!
Oh!
Oh.
All right.
Oh,
I got
I
my clam rank today too. I got my clam rank today to ask, so that's pretty cool, I guess.
Why
You
did
know, I'm pretty sure I knew I could figure out how to like do a window / split the screen, but I never really got it to work before, and I just did it by accident, and now it's great.
Nice.
Now I can have both YouTube and Twitch chats open, and I don't have to close any windows. Yay! On the screen.
All right.
Oh, this is gonna be fantastic. Oh, I should have joined the club.
I'm playing the T-Tech, okay? They're playing Neo Splash. I'm playing T-Tech. This is not a meme comp.
Fair enough. I will just stick to being your backline. I'll give you armor, Jerry, okay?
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
need armor.
For as many times I can get it. My maximum has been 7, so that's if I don't die.
That's like a junior on a bad day. You're doing fine.
I'll try my best to protect you.
I'm gonna scooch this a little bit.
Anchovy. What is it? Anchovy and what's the other map? Was it Skipper?
It was...
Skipper, yeah. Skipper.
Yeah. All right.
Really
Skipper's not too bad.
Very Friday.
Hi, Annie.
Oh, it's zones. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just straight up ran off the map.
We are getting game sound through someone's Discord, so
To their fan.
got one.
Nice.
Charger's
Okay.
weak, but they got me.
No, I couldn't save you.
I didn't have. I got.
Nice pick.
I got
One in mid, one in
I'm
mid.
being rushed. Okay, they
I'm
dropped our fan.
Lucas,
I'll
after me.
jump. I'll
Lucas,
jump to you.
Heads up,
There's
heads
one
up,
on
heads up,
height. Got him.
Why did I stay there? Why, there was a charger there.
They have a charger. Oh, they do have a
I
charger.
took control.
Charger weak. One got me.
Nice. I got sniped behind the wall. It's fine. It's fine.
Missile's gonna be on me. Be careful, Debbie.
I'm moving right. There's one hiding on the left corner with special. I wouldn't. Yep, there's a Glugas. That's going from my face.
There's a jet.
I was trying my best to get the thing, but yeah. By the way, behind.
Yeah. Got
Yeah,
it.
they got me.
Nice.
I kept hitting this sign, so I couldn't move anywhere. That was a bad inkjet spot. Jumping into Debbie.
Yeah, you're okay. There's one
above
not
you.
far from me on the right. Oh, drop.
Got him.
There's one on. There's one on their fan.
Nice cap.
View area.
Watch out for missiles.
Alright, I got missiles on me.
I got inkjetted.
Alright, I'm gonna go from this side, I think.
They're coming left fan.
You're 2 down. You're alone.
Watch left fan. Watch
Oh
left
yeah,
fan.
I'm alone.
One on Doodle.
I'm just gonna leap out. Damn it.
They weren't able to get me.
Nice.
One on plat.
Lucas on our plat. Yeah, they're going.
Two on
for
plat.
me.
Two on
Just
plat.
hit.
They dropped.
Alright, Gem, I'm gonna jump to you.
There's 2 our
Apparently
fan.
There's a
they're all
suction.
holding on the thing on the.
They're all pushed up.
I have jet
I'm gonna
ready.
go to this
have armor, let me know
tower.
when,
Oh,
Jim.
I got all missiles.
for
I
it.
got all missiles. I got all. So, what are they
Hammer.
running? 2 missiles? Are they running 2 missiles?
1.
Dang it.
They have missiles, hammer, jet, bomb rush.
This might not be a safe jump.
Yeah,
There's 2 on my out.
I didn't see that.
Charger down.
Nice.
Brush dropped and got me.
Yeah, this is a loss. Dang.
Yeah. Unlucky. We just didn't have mid control for a while. I mean, we had it for like a bit, but
You had
Not
mid control, but like probably
we
need a bit more
didn't
range.
consistently hold it.
Their I know their charger only got 3 picks, but it was definitely zoning some people out pretty good.
Because like
Yeah.
I will say, I think only one player had a point advantage of. We should not have many. We should not have this many splashes.
It's not necessarily
think-
bad. Like, there are a lot of comps that run like 3 short range and then 1 anchor.
Yeah, no,
so it's not
I'm
it's
just
not
saying,
necessarily a bad thing, but it's probably not what I would ideally run. But it's also fun, so I'm gonna do it.
Plus, anchor isn't really needed because missiles. They just get out, like,
on a
misplaced
comp like this, it
much.
helps because the range is good, the armor is really helpful.
Yeah.
They have a really strong
Yeah.
position to stand on plat, so
We're
it's
talking
not
about
bad.
anchor denial.
Also, it's helpful because Debbie plays anchor weapons, and that's what she's really
Yeah.
good at. So we should have her play anchor weapons, if anything.
Look,
Yeah,
people are
probably,
just like,
yeah.
hey, let's run missile spam to counter a Hydra. That's not the special that actually takes me down. Because I know how to move around missiles and stall them out, so.
Hi,
I mean,
Tal,
that's good. That's a good thing.
and hi, RDB.
Hello, friends.
Hello.
It's Splash Day. Could you tell?
I'm
Splash.
just.
Oh, it's the
I
same
am
team.
secretly a giant splash. Just a costume.
It's same team.
Just a weapon skin. Don't worry, guys. It's a splash. It's just a weapon skin.
Jamie says, not if I bring them to you, Debbie.
Okay, I get killed by or splatted by my teammates' missiles more than I die to my own. So. True fact.
Alright,
watch out for leader. They might try. Yeah, they're gonna try and come out and get picks in mid. So I'm not even gonna challenge that. I'm going bottom.
In that area, though.
Squeezer's bottom already behind this pillow.
We're one down
Good
already.
brush.
Be careful. Nice.
I got
Squeezer down. We should be able to get.
I can try playing flank.
Leader's bottom with the brush.
Doodles
as far
brush.
as-
Pushing leader. Leader weak. Leader down. Brush got me. Brush on zone. With nice. Still brush zone. Still brush zone.
Brush is around the right corner.
Right around the
behind
corner.
statue. I hit it once.
I see it.
Yeah, push it from mid. Oh. Yeah, maybe don't push it from mid yet.
E-leader is like above. I think that's the right terminology.
Oh, they have double stamp. I just
There is
realized.
a name for that call out that is not just above, but it makes sense.
Okay.
If you don't know, just say a direction, and that'll at least get someone to look
brush and friend
somewhere.
on
That's generally what I do. Oh shit.
We don't have
One
anybody
mid.
in position to potentially do a statue flank, would we?
There are bubbles here,
One flank,
but
one flank.
I can go
Nice
now.
and key.
Going now. Charger down.
Thank you. This one
Brush
behind
down.
I got a brush from above. I got a brush. What?
Nice.
All right, I'm gonna jet over this wall as soon as they get up.
Water.
I'm gonna go and protect your spawn.
Charger down. Another one down.
Nice.
Third one
The
trying to
brush
run
on
away.
bottom. I think I'll brush on bottom.
Yeah, both two bottom. Go
I
back to
got
bottom.
one. I got brush. Debbie, I got brush.
There we go. There we go. There we go.
Still in there. Brush on zone.
That's
For
a hammer.
hammering.
I got
Nice.
it. I'm not afraid of you, hammer.
Oh, brush on me. In mid.
I'm gonna go and
Brush coming from mid.
Mid? Alright.
Behind the wall.
I yeeted the hammer.
Both brushes mid.
Oh god, I got bubbled. Squeezer's on my ouch with a friend.
Hammer got me.
We're 3 down. It's just doodles.
Get out of there, Doodles.
I'm gonna try and stay protected. I'm gonna try and jump
I
back.
like that. No, oh, Rush sees
Okay.
you.
We're here now. We might be able to fight this. We're 2 down.
I think the leader came back bottom.
Leader's
back bottom. Take that advantage. Stop. Oh god!
Why did I do that? What was my thinking there? What was my thought process there?
I think my soul just left my body.
Mid?
Yeah, it's both brushes mid.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump to
try and,
Doodles and then we can push in. Oh no, never mind. We need to go in from mid.
Hammer.
Wells, sharking.
There's no time. We gotta go.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Woo! I'm actually alive. Not for long, but it's cool.
Shoo. Shoo fly. Shoo. Oh my god.
Eve.
Ugh.
Eve.
Make sure that we're paying attention to how many players are down, so that we're not going in when we have a disadvantage.
Yeah.
That
That's not a lot.
my awareness on the bottom going back in there. Gosh, I completely lost track of that squeezer. It literally jumped out right in front of me, and I was not looking near it. And there is my massive jump scare of the day. I was asleep before. I'm awake now.
You can say that.
Hey, when did Splatoon become a horror game?
I think it always was. I don't think it ever became one.
Hi, Mona. That's someone who's watching.
Yeah, no, I always get jump scared.
Just boop.
Problems of being a backline, and if you're not paying attention, those flags can get
Chara-kun.
ya.
So I don't know. I haven't played Skipper Zones in a while.
It's definitely another one of those more team-based maps in order to push back in.
Yeah. 1770.
Oh, well then.
This
Double charge.
is
okay.
this is gonna be fun.
Play behind cover.
I was gonna do the funny, but I see someone else went far left, so they're gonna know.
Nice. Again, somebody's game sound is getting picked up by their microphone, and it's pretty loud over the call. If we could like turn the volume down or something, that'd be great.
Yeah, it's definitely me. That might be it. I think that might fix it.
It's better for sure.
Okay.
This guy's weak. Oh, that was delayed.
I should not have popped special there.
It's still coming over, but at least it's quieter.
Not have done this. Not have done this. Yeah.
I got 2 on the zone.
Okay, it's 2v2. I'm coming in to help. Oh crap! The other one's
Yeah,
on our plat.
Got
him.
On their
Dynamo's
pen,
heading
on
towards
their
you.
pen.
Okay.
Now they're right there.
Nice.
I'm gonna go and ink flank.
Ooh. Right above you.
Yep.
Nice.
That should get him. Yep.
There you go.
One going far right. Far right.
One going far right. Someone go right.
I see it.
Dynamo's down there.
Dang it.
And there's another one.
Yeah, I do think I skipped them.
You were the jet landed.
On the
To my ouch. There, 52 coming out right.
I see it. Charger.
Leaders in their office. Dynamo's right.
I got sniped as soon as I landed.
Ripper and K-Gal are on far right.
Back up, giveaway zone. Careful, Kirb, you're first up.
We should probably play in our area.
Looks like...
I'm just trying to get special right now so we can push.
What?
Yeah, Squiff has been trying to get picks off of our plat. They like to come up here, so be aware of that positioning when they get control.
Squiffers on my this way.
Jetting. Got Squiff.
Leader's weak.
Dynamo's stuck on right.
Leader's Squiff is on leader's on the left.
Dynamo's still right.
One's on the right.
Leader.
Dynamo weak.
Broke Dynamo's on right.
DC'd.
Just the Squiff.
Where's Squiff?
Oh, K-Gal DC.
Oh, Squiff is on their plat.
Yep.
Got him.
Oh, wait,
nice. Nice doodle.
Charger's office.
I'm gonna try and make it harder for them to play.
I'm down to bomb or something. Oh no, I got sniped. 2 top left. We're 2 down. We're 2 down. Be careful.
Yeah, I'm not gonna push.
Down big. Remember,
get cover. Get to cover.
You can jump if you want. I'm behind a wall. Careful this rain. So
oddest position I've ever been in, but I missed my shots. I broke an armor though.
By the way, on our plat is Squiffer. He's jumped over to.
We're able to hold on to right here for the time being. Just watch. Oh, there's one on our fan.
One on our fan.
Right here.
Got him.
I text Squiffer.
Dynamo got me right. Just leader. Yeah.
Okay.
Squiffer jumps. Squiffer jump back. Squiffer jump back.
That was leader, I think.
Oh, those leaders.
All good.
Targets.
I'm gonna support Debbie.
Oh.
They're up on the perch, so I can't be too close here.
I have special.
I have armor.
They're jetting over right.
Goodness. Here we go.
Yeah,
Dynamo dropped right. Dynamo dropped right. They're on the wing still, on my ouch.
Oh! I got him.
They just popped armor, but I don't think it went through because.
See if we can cap zone. Nice.
Currently, I'm distraction.
Alright, that should be game. I don't think they get to zone in time.
Oh, Squiff's on me! Ow! Zone. But I think we're okay. It's a Squiff. Maybe not. It might neutralize.
Bombing it. There we go. There we go. Yeah.
There you go.
I was like, wait. Why do I hear this Squiff? I turn around. Well, there's my doom.
That's fine. That was a KO.
I forgot the team. Hello, everyone.
God, I don't know what I was doing that game. Oh, good.
Whoever came out with me on the left-hand side, but took like the platforms, you actually acted as a bait for me. I applaud you.
It was me, I think. That's me.
Because what happened was is that you took the dynamo to hop forward, the E leader to come forward, and you actually got him in my range, and then the Squiffer came over and tried to come from and turn their back to me, so it just worked out so well.
I just kind of went to med as soon as I heard you call Squiffer and Jet. So
Basically, what I did is that, like, I just figured out that you were, like, probably gonna need some help because you're a Hydra.
Well, my goal is that I run there without putting paint down so they don't know I'm going that direction. And I will, as soon as they let go of their first charge, I'll fire.
Okay, I think that a brush and a dynamo are both up there.
Dynamo's weak. Traded.
Brush knows where I am. Brush knows...
Two on bottom side. Two on bottom side. We lost
wasn't-
top. 2v3. See if we can get cap really quick. Okay, we can't.
I got one pick.
yeah.
Oh, I got 2 picks, but I'm out of charge.
Oh, nice, nice. I'm dropping mid. Oh, crap. The dynamo is here.
Yeah.
I should die. Okay, good trade. Just bucket, just bucket. They're jumping behind the pillow. Right in front of you.
That might drop behind you. No, Zap's going bottom from...
Kirb is statue flanking. I'm gonna
from
start
our
pushing
side,
forward.
though. There's a dynamo behind us in mid. Dynamo behind us in mid.
To make it harder to
One
play.
of them just went back to their base.
I'm dead.
They're trying to get a couple tags.
Bucket right next
One
to
of
you.
them mid.
Doodles.
One of them's jumping in. One of them jumps mid.
Just mid.
Touchdown.
Get off the zone. Get off the zone. There we go.
They're gonna push Doodles. Good job. Doodles got one. Painting zone. Ink jetting. Why is it always the dynamo that I end up ink jetting? Dynamo on left on the box, dropping down now.
There we go. The
One,
bucket's
two
at a
behind
knock-
us. Two behind right. Rush down on top.
Yeah, got the dynamo there.
Watch out, the bomb behind you, Debbie.
I know.
Big range.
One
Oh,
on
Dynamo's
zone.
by me.
Zone weak. Got him.
Dynamo's on the bottom by our side, by our statue.
I hit him a whole bunch and thought he should have died. He's on zone.
Dynamo statue. On our side statue.
Maybe we can't get that.
Oh, that's a bucket.
One right underneath me.
Got
One's gonna
collateral.
spawn.
One behind you, Doodles.
Dynamo spawn.
One in mid, pushing
spawn.
zone. Nice.
Oh, it's gonna be a heartache.
Good job, Debbie. There's another one dropping top side. They moved
Careful,
elsewhere.
there's dynamo bottom.
I know. I traded with
Attack
it.
one.
Keep zone for lead.
I didn't.
Okay, we got
Nice,
it.
We got a lead by 1 point.
That's not worth though. We're gonna lose it
No, it's
on this
not.
push.
Yeah.
In mid.
Heads up, Dynamo.
Where's
That was-
Dyna?
They're
Up top.
mid.
Heading into
Oh.
our area.
Dynamo got me in mid. They're jumping to it.
I got backed into a wall, bro.
Debbie, do you want help down there, or do you want us to push mid?
Fine.
You can't
just
be
watch out for
dropping
the Dynamo, but you can push
Dynamo's
mid,
in mid.
here. I should be alright. Oh, they're gonna missile me now, but...
I didn't know there was.
Got one.
They have such big mid control. Flank
Got
mid.
one in mid. Dynamo's still mid. They popped armor.
I'm really weak.
It's just Dynamo and Zap.
Alright, I'm gonna try to flank.
Make
Got
sure you have
one.
paint so you don't get
Alright.
sharked.
Jumping back.
Nice. There's 2 on their statue. Bucket it one more.
Let me see here. My Jenny
Here we go.
thing.
Oh.
Dang it, I jumped one. That's
Two
that's
bottom.
not good.
Dynamo's holding mid.
Okay.
Dynamo down.
I have some jumping you.
Jetting.
It's on top, bucket's on top, bucket's on top, bucket's on top, and I'm dead.
I
People
see
are.
him.
2 people
Sorry,
on top.
my bad.
I got the bucket.
One of them just splashed down mid.
I got him.
Rush.
Dynamo's
Missiles,
punching me with
missiles.
missiles.
Alright, I tried getting him away.
Dynamo drops.
Dynamo,
Statue.
Dynamo,
Statue flank.
Dynamo. I got it, but traded.
2 on zone. I'm down to bomb.
I got special.
Okay,
This
be
is
right.
gonna be our last chance. Wait on it for a second. Okay. We're going.
Sorry.
I'm gonna put pressure on top. There's 3 in mid. Dynamo
Oh,
statue
no.
flanking. Got him.
I got one. I got slasher.
Just a brush.
They're wiped.
They're wiped.
Nice.
Don't,
Team wipe.
don't.
Team wipe. You gotta hold it.
One
Inkjetting
going
for an
bottom.
early pick. Bucket's gonna be forced towards zone.
There's
Got
a
one.
dynamo from top. Dynamo from top.
Dynamo's gonna be on me.
Make sure they don't neutralize it.
Dynamo's still top.
We need paint. Another one painter on zone. I'm dead to missiles. I got stuck. No paint.
Paint zone, paint zone, paint zone.
Oh, I got a mine splat. Let's go.
There we go.
Nice.
Got the brush.
Okay.
I'm
We're
jumping.
gonna have to drop top.
Careful mid.
Dynamo got me, but we should be okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Mine splat on zone. Let's go.
That'll do
Oh,
it.
that was good.
That was good.
Hello, Trickwing and Savage Cabbage and Munku. And Mr. Awesome and Nugget.
Just don't talk about how I'm completely throwing here, right? Don't question it.
I promise I will not talk at
nobody
all
needs
about
to
how
know.
Kirb is throwing. Nobody needs
Don't
to
worry
know
about
about Kirb throwing
Nobody needs to know.
whatsoever. Just
Nobody needs to know.
the information does not need to be out there that Kirb is throwing at all. Nobody
GG's, Nugget.
nobody talk about Kirb throwing, okay? Okay.
True. Nobody needs to know.
Nobody needs to know. How would they know? You're gonna know.
Exactly. Nobody sees
Ellie,
it. It's a
is S
visual
plus
order.
1 a good rank? I have a whole video on that question. And rather than answer the question, I will say, what does good mean? Lynn, finally glad I caught a stream. Yeah, I'm glad you caught a stream too.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, S plus 1 is in the top 5%, I think.
Yeah, that
That's
checks
good
out,
to
I
me.
think. But
That's
it
good.
depends
Like,
entirely.
it looks like I'm in, like,
It depends entirely
again?
on your goals. It depends on what you are trying to do with the game.
yeah.
For example, I'm just trying to get the highest S plus I can because I'm not gonna get to X.
You never know. You might.
Yeah, you never know.
Right. Definitely.
I would
don't think
say
it's gonna happen.
it is a matter of time and not a
Yeah.
matter of ability, talent, anything like that. Weapon you choose.
think-
It's gonna happen if you keep at it.
Yeah, I'm saying that it
I haven't
probably
played
is gonna
zones
happen
in a while.
I think it's gonna happen.
I should have looked at the rotation for today ahead of time.
Yeah.
And just play every single zone's rotation. I should have.
I mean, the nice part is that zone is good for these weapons, except
Uh,
for me.
Be really, really careful for any enemy
Yeah,
paints
charger.
because there is a carbon in play.
Yes,
I got-
Carbon
yeah,
should be down. Oh,
carbon.
what?
I somehow
Carbon
got
over right,
the-
nice.
Uh,
Just heavy,
no
just
carbon.
heavy.
By the way, Carbon and I think K-Pro is
One
running
coming right pillar.
just good.
Ooh.
I'm
Okay,
gonna-
I'm
Throw
feeling
down.
the distance.
Gem above.
They're
Above hand.
stuck. Nice.
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 Leader right fan with carbon.
Uh-oh.
Carbon down.
You guys got
Nice.
this.
The pro.
Nice.
I don't know where the pro is.
Pro was first up. They went down. Pro on me. Got him. They're coming through
Okay.
office.
I'm gonna try pushing.
Oh, we pushed at
they
the
got
same time
two.
against
Alright,
the
I'm just
Dynamo.
not gonna push
Dynamo
more.
dropped out right.
'Cause they got two.
I know.
By the way,
I've
Carbon's
got two
fans.
pushing.
Carbon's
There's
fan.
two
Carbon's
pushing.
fan.
Jumping
Watch
in
out,
like an
watch out,
idiot.
watch out.
Woo!
Need.
Oh, Jerry.
I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Carbon's is the best of us, Gem. Don't worry about it.
I'm fine. We're fine. We're doing great.
I
It's a
should be
triple.
Inking zone. Nice.
It's cool.
Nice.
It's fine. It's fine.
Did I ever
By the
tell
way,
you to scare me
April-
sometimes?
Nice. Got one.
Oh yeah, you tell me that all the time, and I'm
Nice.
telling you not to. Not to be scared.
Nice, Gem. Nice. That's all right.
Oh my goodness.
All right, I'm down. One jumps to plat, Dynamo, and leaders above it.
I'm gonna jump to Devi.
Yeah, you're good. I'm staying hidden.
By the way, E-leader's top.
Yeah, top right. Dynamo's on the left
try and get it.
front.
Oh,
Pro's one shot.
There we go.
Oh, Pro's chasing.
got pro.
E-leader's
Dynamo's on
on
zone.
Good job.
Heavy, are you safe? or
Dynamo
no?
got me. Nice.
Ah,
That's why.
yes.
Push up the plat. Push up the plat.
Nice.
Okay. Well,
That was
There's one
very
coming
shot.
out right. I'll watch it.
I see it.
I missed
Nice.
everything, but
Two.
they got me.
Two there,
anyway.
two there.
Or you got them anyway.
I got the mind splat.
Nice. I got
Oh.
one.
Your jump is gonna go down to leader if we don't stall it. Okay, someone stalled it. Good job.
Jump. Someone jumps. Someone jumps.
Yeah, there's two on me. Dynamo down.
Oh,
One more
I
zone. One more zone.
should not have fought that.
someone's on
I
zone.
shouldn't have fought
Got him.
that.
Go.
Jim above you, behind you,
Keep
behind you.
trying to hit special. Should
Oh,
not
I
fought
got
that.
you.
Thank you.
Woo.
Nice.
Nice.
Leader got me, but it doesn't matter because they can't paint.
Oh, they can, but just not.
Not
fast enough.
well. I meant that they're not in
That was
position to
good.
paint.
I know.
They're too far back to paint the zone.
That was. I mean, that was decent. I guess.
I mean, it was a good game. I think it was a good game.
Well, yeah, that was pretty good.
So this is probably teaching me a lot about it.
Bottom
my
fragging
goodness.
yet again. Go.
If Gem could be an emote, it'd be that one. It's the energy being emitted right now. It's not a bad one. It's not a bad one. I'm trying to think. Now I'm thinking like, is there an alternative that I think I am more? I don't know. You might have me nailed there. Okay, going back and reading chat a little bit. Want to become X-rank competitive? Awesome. Well, keep on working toward it. You'll definitely get there in time. It's Stout Panda again. Been a minute since we've seen them, but
It's been a while.
hello, Unique. Squid in
Very
school. I guess it's an octopus, but close enough.
Oh,
40. That's an interesting comp. That's for sure.
it is, but if they know how to use them, it can be kind of painful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Goop is top. Goop is top. Careful, Kirb.
Yeah.
Two on top. So we should be able to just take zone because they're all on us right now. Okay, they're gonna be coming from top. They got me,
Okay.
and we're
I'll
outnumbered,
worry
so
about
be careful.
torpedoes.
Watch out for the bubbles, Curb.
I see it.
Got two. The inkjet is by our statue, but the
There we
jump's
go.
in mid. Oh boy. I have survived. Oh,
Nice.
I'm not gonna survive for long. Bubbles on zone on bottom.
This is such a chaotic team. Hello?
I got the junior. There's a brush by their statue.
Oh, watch
Could be
above. They're gonna be on my
mid.
jump. Actually, no, they're not. They mistimed it. Goop coming from
dang.
top.
Lucky you.
Another one dropped pillow. Got him.
Pillow. Nice.
You?
The pillows are the pink inflatable things.
Behind you. A baller.
Oh, I know. It ain't getting very far. Never mind. It got far because my mind didn't
Oh, my ouch.
trigger.
Hammer on zone.
Wait, I'm gonna wait for this.
There you
Good
go.
pick.
Thanks.
One Goop dropped mid.
Bubbles,
Uh-oh.
bubbles.
Bubbles are so big. Hello?
Yes, that
Yeah,
is
they're
what.
running,
That is. If
they're
you
running
have seen,
MPU.
if you no,
Or
it's not
not.
MPU. It's special.
Yeah, it's SPU. I got
They
this,
have
like,
Two in
they
mid,
have
two in
a whole
mid.
pure of it.
Don't drop.
I see it.
and 6 subs.
All right.
Oh god, a whole tier of SPU.
I'm
How
getting
did I
camped
not
out.
hit a single shot? How did they win that? Stupid.
There's, I think all mid.
Got
Could be
one.
wrong.
They are all mid.
Nice.
Goop got me
Jen.
mid.
Goop's gonna try to shoot me out here.
Is anyone going bottom? I'll go bottom if
can.
need be.
I can,
Okay.
but there's one guarding it because it shut me
I'm
out
on my
last
way.
time.
She's on top, Rush is on top, Rush is on top. She's heading down.
What was that? What was
There it
Is
that?
there one behind me?
I'm behind. Yes.
Got him. Two on me.
Might be another. Yeah, I'm trying to help you.
Top.
I'm getting blocked by the bubbles.
It's fine.
We need zone in 3 seconds.
Dang it! Tried my best
Crap.
to go and bomb them.
That's fine.
I needed to like protect myself.
Don't worry about it.
Yes.
Yeah, all good.
Next time I do one of these, though, I'm definitely gonna have to play the mode ahead of time because I've been just doing every single clan rotation because I've been trying to get my rank up to S, but now it's S. I can just like go back. I need to work on my zones more.
Win most rematches in S and S plus. You can skip ranks. Yep, that's true. From S to S plus 6. Yep.
There's certain requirements for some of them.
So the way that it works is that you have to get to a power, because you have a power in ranked that's hidden from you until you get to X rank, but it's always there. And so if you get your power high enough in the lower ranks, it will skip you a certain amount as soon as you get your meter full. So I think it's like you have to get up to like 20.
I'm pretty sure the Splatoon wiki has it listed.
If you get up,
All the
I think.
requirements for them.
Yeah, and I've got it in one of my videos too. I think it's like if you hit 2300 in S plus, the next rank up you'll skip all the way to S plus 9.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I've done the S to S plus 9 skip twice. It's in a couple of the videos there. Thank you, Ellie. I'm really glad to hear that watching my videos, you're finding yourself improving. That's really nice to hear.
Yeah.
I remember for the longest time I couldn't get up, like I couldn't get past like B rank. Then I just watched one of your videos, and then I started looking up how to play the game pretty much. And I came across one of your videos. And then I went all the way from like B to like
Impress
S.
the judges or something. Judd is just proud of you. Squiff, a
My
good
zone's
weapon.
right there.
Good painting
It's
weapon
fine.
too.
And I got out of S0 by swallowing the pill that the game is randomized. The matchmaking is essentially randomized to a certain extent.
I do not play Squiffer unique, so I couldn't say what should be run on it.
Okay.
But what I would recommend
I
that
know
you do,
roughly what Swiffer wants is MPU. Roughly, if I'm pretty sure it's MPU.
what I
Could be
would
wrong.
do unique for build ideas, if you ever have any questions, is go to sendou.inc, SENDOU.inc. And there's a section there where top 500 players post their builds on the weapons that they play. That's a really good resource for figuring out what people are generally running on it.
You don't even have to like carbon copy the build either. You can like experiment and make it to how you like it. So
Yeah.
that's a nice part.
I usually will take like a bunch of different builds and kind of average them, or like
Yeah.
tailor them in the direction that like I like that build more than I like that one, so I'll steal
Charger
more
right.
of that. There's 3 dropped out into mid.
Charger right, watch out.
Yeah, go in from left to right. Go in from left to right. We don't need to fight the charger if we don't have to.
I got the charger.
Okay, we're down though.
I got the
2v2.
pro. I got a pro. Why do they have 3 pros?
They do have 3. Well, I mean, what's the difference with our comp?
Well, ours are good Splat Zones weapons though.
I know, but still, 3 of one weapon and a backline. I mean, you know. you see
I tried
my
pushing
point.
it. There's
And I
2
guess
right
it's
there.
not
2,
too
1 more behind the
different.
column on the pillar,
Still kind of funny. It's still a funny comp though. That's for sure.
and that's the important
Yeah.
part.
Currently, kind of camping their base.
Okay, well, there's one still on the zone on the left.
Nice,
Got
stay
it.
down.
Charger's up on Purge.
Got 2.
Nice, Charger's the last one up on Purge.
Nice.
On my watch.
What?
Oh boy.
1 stuck in here. Got him.
Nice. Okay, and we're gonna win. 3, 2, 1.
No, what are you
Booyah.
talking about? I think they just totally came back last minute. What do you mean?
What? We didn't wreck them? We didn't totally wreck them?
No.
It's all ogre for them now.
No, wait, I'm not bottom frag this time. This is actually insane.
You know,
New
we played
news.
that team 3 times now. I think they were just like, you know, they saw us 3 times. They wanted to do something on a similar level.
Yeah.
It's just they took
Maybe.
What's a weapon that counters the splash? We'll run 3 of those. What's a weapon that counters the Hydra? We'll run 1 of those. There we go.
That's exactly what happened.
Exactly.
It's just they lacked paint.
Yeah, that's what happens if you play only based on 1v1 counters. You fail to notice certain macro trends in the comp that are important to keep track of as well. Alrighty, that is our power, so we're going to get going with the VOD review here. I'll start with GamORDoodls. I'm going to get that one up here first. Okay, there we go. Making sure I had the right one.
Yeah, in this one, you might want to keep it at a lower volume because I accidentally had my mic on while recording it.
Yeah.
There's a little silly, like,
that happened. Okay, so there's that, and that is not showing the right thing at the moment.
It is
but
currently
it will
showing this
now.
There we go.
Okay. Just double checking to make sure everything is looking good on the stream. It is. Awesome. And just wanted to say hi to Lunalian? Luna? I'm assuming I can just shorten that to Luna. And to a wild muskrat. Okay.
This was so that you could see the gear I was using. It only lasts for a second or two.
For sure. I will really quickly switch scenes and show you what I run on Splash, just so that people can have that if they want it. It is not this. It is this, and this. So here is my rationale for my build, and yours it's very similar. With the Neo Splash, if you have 2.4, that is 2 mains, 4 subs of main power up, as you can see I have on my bandana and on my jacket here, that gives you 3-shot potential on your main weapon. That gets it to the point where 3 shots do 99.9 damage. I would say that any more than that, I don't think it's going to do anything for you at all, because it caps at right about that line. So I am seeing, it looks like 3 mains, 4 subs of MPU, but that's a main more than you need. The other subs that I have are generally utility subs. I've got some ink resistance for MPU weapons. I've got some special saver because I'm a frontliner and I'm going to be going down a lot and taking a lot of fights. So it's useful to have special back just a little bit faster, and 1 sub of special saver is a uniquely high amount of value to get out of that. I have some quick super jump, of course, as every weapon should, I think. And I have some bomb defense, which is useful for defending against a number of different things, especially if you're going to be in there, taking a lot of fights. And the swim speed is just a little extra there. It might be ideal to actually have a sub of ink resistance on that shoe instead, but I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. And then the one thing that I definitely recommend, and that you don't see on a lot of high-level builds, so take this with a grain of salt, but it's something that I think is really strong, is a main of sub power-up. Sub power-up increases the range of your burst bombs. It gets it to where, I think it's like 1.1, and your burst bombs are now at Jet Squelcher range, which is really, really strong because that lets you contest backliners or poke them and kind of try and prod them out of position. You can just kind of peek out from around cover, throw one before they have charge, and then duck back behind cover. And it's really hard for them to counterplay that. So I personally think that that's really strong. I use that a lot, and I find that I got a lot of value out of that when I was running that on things like the vanilla splat dualies, back when dualies were viable, sniff. So that's why I run what I run, and I am a big fan of this build for when I'm running this weapon. We're going to go back, and so here's the build that we had. And again, the one thing that I would say, you know, the ink efficiency you probably don't really need because this weapon just paints a lot already. You're already going to paint a lot, so unless you find yourself running out of ink a lot, it's probably not going to do you an awful lot of good. And really, what you want to work towards is being able to manage your ink tank so you're not running out of ink in any situation. This is one of the weapons that really doesn't need it because it just gets so much naturally. Special charge is great, you know, great for a more supportive playstyle so that you get more of your specials out. But the main utility subs that I would say that you should definitely consider are a little bit of ink resistance, a little bit of quick super jump, and maybe one sub of bomb defense. I think those are... Almost every build that I make is going to have a little bit of those just because they're just so universally useful right now.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll skip ahead through this. And let me know, folks, if the game sound or the sound from the VOD is overpowering. I'll probably just mute it anyway because you did have your mic on, you said. So we'll just leave it as such.
It's quite funny to watch it with sound, though.
Alrighty. So we're on Arowana Mall Tower Control, which is a map mode that I hate and never want to play. It would be fine, except that Stingray exists, and so it's not fine, and everything is sad. It's an absolute miracle that nobody is playing a charger. Basically, once you hit X rank, the only people who want to play Arowana Mall are like E-liter players.
Yeah, I remember I had a quite fun time when I was an E-liter main.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody is just going to want to pull it out here because they're like, yay, this is a time where I can charger. And then you run into like 3 other chargers on your team. So, okay, we've got a short range comp here. We've got a carbon roller, a vanilla carbon roller. That's interesting. We've got a K-Pro. We've got... I can never remember which Splash is which. Is it? Or, I mean, not Splash. Which Clash is which? Is this the Ray one or the Missiles one?
I'm pretty sure.
I think it's the Missiles one because I don't remember seeing a Ray in this match. And then there's the Neo
Missiles
Splash.
one.
Missiles one. Okay, cool. So they've got more paint. In fact, you're the only weapon that really paints super well on this comp. Which is unfortunate. That's just the luck of the draw, because blasters are going to want to play on tower control. That's typical.
Yeah.
It's one of the places where a blaster is defensible in the current meta, just because it covers the tower well on defense. But Clash Blaster, not the one I would want to do it with, because you have to just get so close to the tower to do anything with it. You do end up in a lot of fights with the Clash Blaster, and so I'll talk about that 1v1 when we get there, but let's watch the rollout for now. These are just kind of bizarre comps that you would never put together in a competitive setting, but it's at least the ranges are relatively similar. Okay, so I love that map check. Before you go in, you see that they don't have an E-liter or something. You would have wanted to make that map check earlier if there were an E-liter, because there are positions where they could actually hit you from here. But because they're all, shorter mid-range, right there is fine. You know that there's someone around the left-hand side, and you know that there's also, I think 2 people in mid. So you come here, and you just immediately rush this person down. Now, at higher level, what people are going to be doing is, when they come out to here, they're going to know that someone's going to want to come from this direction, and so they're going to be, peeking around the wall, and they'll see you coming ahead of time. Who is it that you get here? Is it the Tri or the Brella? Which one goes down?
It was the Brella.
Okay, it was the Brella. So this person outranges you, right? So if they're watching where they should be, if they're, rotating their camera around this wall well, they should see you coming before you're in range, and then you're in trouble. Because they have longer range than you, you don't have ink you can swim on, that's a pretty easy fight for them to win if they're paying attention. So you get away with this primarily because they don't look, but realize that at higher levels, people will start looking, and that will end up being a bad play.
I will keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. But you get a good pick, and you know that your teammates got another one, and so now this player is completely out of position, has absolutely no right to be here, and you are doing the right thing by chasing them down. And this guy got you from behind, but your teammates should be taking care of that soon because they're again alone. Now, this is a good time to talk about this because we can talk about why your teammate lost this 1v1 against the Clash. The thing about the Clash Blaster is that it actually splats a lot faster than people give it credit for if the player is good enough to hit 2 directs. You don't see that very often. By the time players are that good, they're just not considering the Clash Blaster anymore a lot of the time. But theoretically, it does actually have a pretty fast kill time. But really, the way that you're most likely to see it played in ranked is somebody is going to hit 4 indirects. And that's really slow, except that it's also really hard to get out of the way of. Against a shooter that splats that slowly, that's one of the worst fighting weapons in the game. But the problem is that with a shooter, you can dodge the shots. You can, move to the left and throw their aim off. With a Clash Blaster, if you move to the left, that shot is still going to hit you, and then they're going to correct for the second shot, and they're going to keep hitting you. So basically, the way that it tends to work out is that if you want to beat a Clash Blaster and you don't have long range to beat it with, you have to out DPS it. You have to do damage to it faster than it's doing damage to you. You're going to move into its range, take some damage, knowing that you're going to hit your shots and that you will be able to beat it before it beats you.
Okay.
I have a very similar...
I'm going to pitch in something here. So there was a tech that was found on Twitter. I forgot by who, but about the RNG manipulation.
We can talk about that because that is news that came out about it. There is controversy over whether that tech actually exists and whether it's not just confirmation bias. I'll wait to discuss that until later because it's not relevant to the current conversation. But with the Clash Blaster and also with a few other weapons, Tetras being another one, a little bit more of an extreme case because that weapon does splat faster than the Clash Blaster does. But with a few weapons like that, basically what you think as the short range shooter is, if I'm getting in range, I need to make sure my aim is on because otherwise I will 100% lose this fight every single time. But if you do have your shots on, then you should 100% win that fight every single time. So what happened here was your teammate, they're thinking, oh, we have advantage, and this guy might be damaged because my teammate went after him and just kind of wandered into the line of fire, didn't have their aim set right away, and so this guy had their shots on first and were able to just get the pick. I guess it was 2 Clash Blasters, but still, so, same deal is going on there. The Clash Blaster is doing a good job of playing around cover, to their credit. They took shots on you from a position that you weren't spotting because you were focused on this guy, which is smart. But what should have happened there was your 2 teammates, this one here and the one who ended up getting on tower, were able to, take the 2v1 and get him away from there because otherwise he's going to disrupt this tower push. Like this teammate right here on the tower, sure, they survived the Clash Blaster, but the rest of their team is so backed up that nobody's going to be able to put up a protective perimeter around them. So this player who's coming in here might get them. Someone might be able to swim through the ink that the Clash Blaster made here and get them from this angle. Okay. And this push is doomed to fail before first checkpoint, especially since the only other player who's up is this far back. So I don't see this push going anywhere. If you get through first checkpoint, I would say that is the fault of your opponents and not the ability of your teammates. Yeah, they stopped it a few points after the checkpoint. I don't think it should have got there. At X rank, it probably doesn't get there. Okay, so let's talk about... So you're coming in, and unfortunately your teammate has gone down. So this is now a 3v4 situation. It's actually a 2v4 situation because the pro went down as well. So right now, these shots you're firing into mid, I would like this if there were pressure coming from the enemy ramp, if your teammates were pushing in this direction with you, because that would mean you're cutting off escape routes so that somebody who runs into your teammates can't just run backwards and your teammates get to pick them off easily. The problem is that you only have one player here with you in mid right now, and they're getting forced back. So what's really happening, rather than you cutting off escape routes, is you're announcing to the enemy team that you're here, and they have more than the numbers that they need to displace you. So I like that you recognize, okay, I don't want to be here. There's a lot of green around me. This is kind of spooky. And you retreat back to mid. That's wise, I think. From here, we pop a bomb rush. So we could do a couple of things with this. We could try and maybe, like, put a bomb or two behind this player so that they can't back up and maybe your teammate is able to pick them off from over the ledge. Maybe that's an idea. I'd, throw a couple bombs there, force them forward, and then let the teammate deal with the rest, and then you turn left and put the rest of them down here. That's probably what I would think to do with it. Okay. One thing that I think would be helpful to you here is having that sub power up. Because, I talked about the utility of having it on your burst bombs, because, like I said, that gives you, jet squelcher range on those bomb throws. But you also have a bomb rush. And you would be able to throw those bombs further, again, with your sub power up. Sub power up is, like, arguably stronger on this weapon than I think anything else in the game. I can't... Maybe, like, the fire fin, just because you're going to be playing so far back that you need it to make the bomb rush do anything, but, like, that's about all I can think of. Very strong perk on this weapon, and considering that you have some redundant MPU gear, this is a situation where that would really help. I bet you could probably get a suction bomb up here without having to move too much further forward if you had it, and then you'd be able to cut this player off, and your teammate would have easier shots on them. These bombs that you're throwing here aren't really displacing anyone, and any bombs that land on the grates are going to explode and not paint anything. So I would maybe throw a couple up here to, threaten this player and then hope your teammate has the rest. But then I'd turn and try and paint something that your opponents have painted, which is primarily the area in front of you. You may not get picks with it. You're probably not in a position where you're going to get very many picks with this bomb rush anyway. There's no forward pressure otherwise. There's nobody else pushing in with this. There's nobody using another special with this. I would say, in a coordinated environment that this special was popped a little bit early probably. But the most value that you're going to get out of it is either zoning opponents away, pushing them closer to your teammates, or painting turf. Those are kind of your main objectives. Those are the best things that you can accomplish with this special. So that's what I'd be thinking to do with it. Okay. Something else to think about with a bomb rush is it's useful to to alternate directions that you're throwing bombs. So throw one in front of the opponent and then throw one behind the opponent and then throw one in front of them again, or something like that. That's a way that you can actually, get players trapped in between explosions rather than just having the explosions really slowly follow behind them as you throw them behind them. You want them, like, first on one side and then on another side, then on the first side again and then on the other side. Keep them stuck between those bombs, and that's if you're going for picks, that's the way you're going to get them. And even if you're, not going to find the picks, at least that way you're keeping pressure in multiple different directions at the same time, instead of throwing 4 bombs in one direction and completely sacrificing any pressure that you have on the other side in the meantime. Because you see right now there's armor getting popped by the Tri-Slosher, and so there's a player right here who's receiving it. If you'd had, like, bomb here, then bomb here, then bomb here, then bomb here, this player gets zoned out, and they aren't as close to you right now. But because all of the bombs are going down on the right side of the map, this player is going to get a lot closer to you, and you're going to be threatened from that side. So we're, you know, throwing some bombs and we're starting to try and move in. Now, I would hesitate to do this in this position for a couple of reasons. One, you can see that there is an enemy bomb rush in front of you. It's starting off, you can see the little blue flash, which is the color of that bomb launcher. That's the first visual cue you get. You can still see them throwing it from here, and you're also hearing bombs and seeing suction bombs land in front of you. So this is a minefield you're dropping into. Another issue with this idea to drop is that you also have missiles targeting you. As soon as you have missiles targeting you, pushing forward, it becomes a trap. It becomes like, you know, walking into a trap that you would put out for a rabbit or something that shouldn't be there. Because as soon as you walk forward, the missiles are going to land behind you and paint your escape route. The door is shutting behind you as soon as you walk forward when you have missiles. So if you're walking into enemy ink, you know that there's a high risk of somebody shooting at you, aggressing you. And then, you know, if you want to back up, well, where do you have to back up? You could go left onto this grate, which if you squid through, you fall into the water and die. You could walk backwards to a wall that's probably not painted your color that you would have to swim up to get anywhere. Or you could move to the right, and that's about the only option you've got, which is near the tower, which is what they're targeting. Forward right now is a really dangerous place to go. And you find that out the hard way here. You realize, okay, well, the only way that I can move forward is to go even further in, and that puts me in a 2v1 situation, and I lose that 2v1. I guess if you'd maybe burst bombed that guy's feet before you got into their range, you have a better chance of making that work. But even then, you're counting on the bomb rusher to not turn and try shooting at you at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just a really low percentage push, and your team has not done enough to gain control of this area. If the bomb rush had been more focused on this area and you had more paint here, that's when I would say that this is a good time to push up. If like from here backwards is all your color, now you've got some room to maneuver. Now you can back up onto ramp. Now you can, you know, hide in this corner. Now you can hide behind this cover. Like, you've got a few more options if that's all painted. But because the bomb rush all landed right here in an area that was mostly already painted your color, you don't have control of that area. And because your teammates don't have specials yet, they don't have anything to fight back against these specials with. So as soon as the bomb rush goes out, as soon as the missiles go out, the high-level play is probably just to wait in mid and wait for those missiles and bombs to fall harmlessly before the opponents have any pressure on you. And then, knowing, hey, they've wasted 2 specials, that's probably when you want to be pushing in instead. And at that point, you have more of an advantage. Also, I would say, like, given the situation of your comp, given that you are the only painting weapon, you need to value your life more than you normally would, because as soon as you die, there's no paint. So while you're probably used to playing really aggressively, because that's what this weapon really should be doing, given the situation, I would be a little bit more hesitant to take fights, just because, again, you have so much important, crucial utility for your team that they need to function. And without you, they're just going to have to back up a lot of the time. They're going to get forced out by players who are going to paint passively.
That was just a little whoops.
Yeah, happens. I like so this is a great map check right here. This is also great hesitance, because, yeah, this is not a situation you want to push into. You're on unpaintable turf, so you don't have the mobility. They look like they've... Was that armor just getting popped? No, it wasn't. That was just an explosion. But they've got this whole area painted. They've forced your teammate out. If you start pushing in here, for all you know, there's someone who's climbing the backside of this wall who's going to jump on top of you as soon as you get across, right? So I like that you're playing it safe. And I also really like this map check, because let's see if I can actually pause it on the map check. You see that there is paint up here. So there very well probably was someone who painted in here, painted up the wall, and is now in your closed. And so I like the decision here to hop up here and check
I don't
this
know
area
why.
here. Yeah, I'm not sure what the painting the rail was for.
This is just instinct.
Like we get up on top of it and then we just decide let's paint that. So that's not really, you know, not a huge deal, but it's like it's not important because there's no way your opponent has access to that yet, so no need to like keep it painted for yourself. But you want to get up on this sponge and you want to use your camera to as quickly as possible see what's going on around this corner. Because if, for example, there is a tri-slosher sharking behind this block, they might already be able to hit you with a slosh. And so you want to be ready to hightail it away. Or what you could also do is map check while you're on top of the sponge. That wastes some time that you might be using just getting into position, so it depends on the situation. Here, you kind of want to be figuring out what's around this corner as quickly as possible. And luckily, there is nobody sharking here. They've decided to back up. And that also gives you an excellent flank route here, but that's the sort of thing that I would expect someone to be sharking, and I'm surprised that they weren't. But from here, I like the idea to play it safe. What I don't like is how little information you're able to gather with this camera angle. What you want to do is maybe push up behind cover over here and try and like rotate the camera down a little bit so you can see what's going on in mid. Because for all you know, there could be 4 players sitting around the wall right here waiting for you to drop down. For all you know, all 4 of them could be completely not paying attention to you at all and focusing ahead on your teammates, and this would be a perfect flanking opportunity. You need that information to know what to do next. So I don't hate the idea of like swimming forward slowly so that you don't put ripples in the ink and you're harder to detect. There you do have ripples, so if someone were watching this from below, they would see you coming and they'd be able to jump you. So
Yeah.
What I'd be doing is doing the really slow swim where those ripples don't show up at all. But from here, once you're here and you haven't been obliterated yet, take a second and stop and collect information. Figure out where your targets are for this flank so that as soon as you drop down, you have your aim on them already. And it's a sure splat instead of, this is theoretically a good position for me. Oh man, I just missed my shots. What's really happening there is you didn't set your aim up ahead of time. Here, you're lucky because the shots that you fire cover both in front of and behind them. But you only hit them twice, and you've fired maybe 7 or 8 shots at this point. At higher level, players are going to be able to snap to you and take you out from this position, depending on how fast their weapon splats. Or if this is the Brella, they get the Brella up by this point. So this is slow reaction on the opponent. They're not painting their feet. They're not paying enough attention to you. And they're not responding quickly enough to when shots start whizzing by them. And so you get this pick, but again, at higher level, people will be able to outplay that. So the way to counteract that, the way to make it so they can't outplay it, is to wait just like half a second from right here. You sit right here, you see where the ripples of ink are going, you project where that player is going to be, and you get a really clear understanding in your head of exactly where to aim, and you start getting your reticle there as you're falling down. Because right now, your aim kind of does this. It aims up here, and then you realize they're not there. And then it comes back down and paints behind them, but then you realize you're not hitting those shots too. So you end up getting them because they are frozen in place on your ink.
Okay.
But I feel like that was more a product of you aiming around them in a circle than it was of you intentionally painting their feet for that fight. So that was overall a good idea to go for the flank. It was a good position to do it from. You did a good job of covering yourself up until the point where you got there. Just know that, at high level, that flank is outplayable. So to counteract that, you do that camera stuff where you collect information and you go in with your aim already set. That was a really good fight that you just took right there. So you can see this player is looking at your teammate. They're not looking at you at all. So you, I think honestly the burst bomb is unnecessary because you can swim into range without that. And if you throw that burst bomb and it doesn't do damage, you're giving your opponent time to back up. So instead of throwing that burst bomb, what I would want you to do is just use your main weapon right away. Because again, they are aiming directly at your teammate and you can just get your aim up there delete them while they're not throwing ink anywhere near your direction and take them out. But even as it was, you knew that that was a good fight to take, and you took it, and you won it, and that's awesome. So, good job. All right, so here, you get surprised a little bit, because you're trying to paint forward, you're trying to get map control, and all of a sudden there's someone right here. This is a fight they should theoretically win. This is the same weapon that you're using. They hit you with a burst bomb first thing. And if they're quicker at responding to where you are, which they should be able to because they saw you before you saw them, they should be able to win this. But they don't quite get their aim on as fast as you do, and so you're able to clean it up. And I like that you back up here. I like that you drop back into your ink and heal. That's awesome. You know, every time there's a close fight, definitely, you know, get yourself healed back up so that you're not going back in and just getting splatted right away. So that's awesome. I like the idea to pop a special here. You need to get some paint down in this area, and a bomb rush is a good way to do it. Seeing that all of this is painted on the left, I would throw a bomb or two in this direction to make sure that if somebody's there, I'm, one, slowing them down, two, getting that information. Because this has been painted their color all game so far. Nobody has actually gone in here and painted any of this up. So for all you know, nobody's been here for 2 minutes. Or for all you know, somebody has been there for the last 10 seconds and is just waiting for you to walk too far forward. If you throw a bomb there, you get that information. And, you know, you throw a couple bombs there. If that gets painted back to green, mental note, oh, there's someone over here on the left, and I'll need to do something about them before the tower can push too far. Okay. And then if it doesn't get painted back and, you know, there doesn't seem to be anybody here, then you can be like, okay, I can hard commit to fighting something in mid or fighting something on right without, you know, someone being able to do anything for at least the next 5 seconds or so.
Okay.
It's a little unfortunate that the Booyah Bomb and Bomb Rush go out at the same time. I don't think that's either player's fault. It's just like you can't be on comms to know where they're going to put it. They can't be on comms to hear that you're bomb rushing. In a coordinated environment, I would say, hey, you guys are using your two specials in the same place, so you're getting like half the value because they're both doing the same thing. Yeah. But that's nobody's fault. This is solo queue. You can't coordinate that sort of thing.
I will say that Booyah Bomb did save me from like a clash.
So the Booyah Bomb goes off, and the clash, it looks like, I wonder if the clash was here, like on, because right now they're on the, what I call fish tank, the grates over the top of the water. Right now they're in that position. I feel like they probably were top left before. I feel like if you'd thrown bombs up here, you might have just pushed this Clash Blaster back. They might have been like, ooh, he knows that I'm here, I must retreat. Because, you know, not throwing those bombs there, you don't get that information about where this player is, and I think that's actually where they end up coming from. And so now you're forced away from mid. If they had been by clan goal and you'd known they were there, they couldn't contest you in this position, and they couldn't get to the tower quite as fast. It wouldn't be this, like, 2v2 situation right now. Good on your teammate for going left themselves and cleaning that up. That's awesome of them. That's really good awareness of, like, oh, this is where the threat is. This is where I need to be taking. And so they do. You have seen paint go down. Where does it go down from? Okay, they get splatted, and then there's a green splash. There's one that happens right there. Okay. Oh, okay. There's one player over here, and then the other one is up top on the right now. And so I like, you know, that you're on tower, you know, push it for the points you can get from it. I like that you're recognizing I am not safe here anymore. They know where I am. It'll only be 1 or 2 more shots before I'm down, and so I'm just going to play it safe. This is a level of awareness that a lot of people don't have in tower control, which is when you get the tower to a position it's not safe to push it from anymore, it's okay to get off and just try to hold from here. The tower's not going to move back to mid very fast. So you can afford to get off the tower and try and win a fight before you get back on the tower and keep pushing. Worst case scenario, you hop on the tower for a second, you get back off, and you keep it there. But this is a play that's more likely to get you a sustained push than just trying to push for the extra, like, 2 points remaining. Right now, you already have leads, so you don't have to worry too much about getting that many more extra points. And what you could do, if you're successful at being able to hold this area, is get another full push with advantage going but starting further forward than usual. And that has a much higher chance of knocking out. So that's the play you want to be going for when you have this much of a lead right now. So I like that you're playing it safe a little bit there. Your teammates just kind of die for the tower here. They do end up getting through a checkpoint, which kind of worth. Should they have? Debatable. They had someone above them shooting down at them. That's a position where what should happen is the player above shoots behind the tower, the person in front shoots in front of the tower, and they have nowhere to stand, and they both go down pretty quickly. So I feel like they got away with something there, if anything. This is a really risky push right now because your team is 2 down, and they have control of the area below this. So what could happen here is as soon as they spot that you've gone over the bridge, they have someone push in from mid behind you, and then somebody else push in from in front of you. That's the sort of thing that they could do to isolate you here. They don't end up doing that. Painting the rail here, I think, does you more harm than good, because this is a big neon sign floating above their heads that says, hey, there's someone of the wrong color on my clam goal. Whereas if they're not aware and you don't paint that rail, you get to just kind of flank behind them and they have no warning. So it looks like you believe that there is someone who's going to be trying and pushing up from there. The bomb rush here is not going to do you a lot of good because they're just not going to push into that. They're going to hear the bombs going out and they're going to be like, I'm going to wait on the wall here for a second. Now, the fact that they, if there was someone there, and I'm not sure if I did see whether there was someone there or not, but if there was someone there, they should know that there's somebody here and be ready to do something as soon as you drop. Like dropping from here, you're throwing bombs, which is an audio cue. There are explosions that have been going off. There's the rail. They should know you're here. There have been enough ways that you've broken stealth that they should know you're here. And they're not paying enough attention to that. They're distracted by mid. So, I mean, good on you for being able to take advantage of that, but there is a stealthier way to get in for this flank that makes it more likely to work. It ended up working anyway, but doing it without announcing yourself quite as much is going to make it a lot more likely to succeed. Good job here. I can tell that there's someone there. They flash right there for about 3 frames, and then you spot them, and you've got them in your sights. Right, so you play this really, really well. Right here, you realize you're missing, and that it is only that one spot that I would take any issue with mechanically. I like that you fire a shot, you realize you're missing, and then you re-aim. And then from right here, when you realize you're missing, this is a point where you should swim strafe before you try to get your aim on again. Because what you do instead is you just keep firing shots and turn yourself. During that time, they have a better chance of getting their aim on than you do. Because they have a better angle. You don't have to snap around as far. So they're going to have their aim on first if they pay attention to you, which they should be doing because you're the only one who's in range to do damage right now. They look like they're a little distracted, and so they don't play it super well. But what should really be going on here, I guess they're shooting at your teammate, but your teammate backs up. So from here, like, they should just be like literally backing up, keeping their aim exactly where it was, and they'd be hitting you. But they whiff by just a little bit, and so you're able to get it. At top level play, what happens here is they stop shooting at your teammate about here and they start aiming at you. They swim strafe because they realize you're going to get your aim on first, and right now they're hitting you. And since you kind of moved from left to right, you panned over to get to them, they start hitting you first and they win that fight. So what you need to be doing once you realize you're missing is you reposition so that they also are having to adjust their aim. And then you have the advantage over them. Then you have the initiative, and you're going to be hitting your shots first. So that's, a little bit of a nitpick, because, again, you won the fight. You did a good job of taking a fight against a player who wasn't paying enough attention to you. You were aware of what was going on your screen, and you addressed the issue. So you did really well there overall. I'm just kind of giving you some tips for, at higher levels, here's how this fight is actually going to play out.
Yeah.
So the reason that you lose this engagement here is this right here. firing these shots up over the top, they're going to paint over that by the time you get up there. All this is doing is announcing your arrival. It's telling them, you know, this person who is just looking this way is going to see those shots, is going to expect that you're going to be here. And look at this. They have a shot that they're firing before they can even see that you're there. They're pre-firing you because they know that you're coming up because you announced your intention with that shot beforehand. So I'm not going to talk about, you know, how you could possibly disengage this fight. You know, your aim might have been a little bit better, not by much. You know, you didn't have that much of an opportunity to get your shots on, especially with the blaster shots in your face. But as soon as you see someone's pre-firing you like that over a ledge, you know, you announced yourself there. That was the first mistake. But if you see they're already firing a shot, they already know you're up here, that's a sign like, oh, they have initiative on me. I can't out DPS them because they are already hitting me. I need to just back up. Because you can back up. This is a Clash Blaster. It splats very slowly if it only gets indirects. And so you could land on this ledge and then just swim straight backwards, and they don't have time to actually pick you before you're back in your own color ink and you've put a wall between you and them. But because you decide to take the fight while they have initiative, while they're already shooting you, while they started pre-firing you, you don't have a number of bullets on them fast enough for you to be able to win this.
Okay.
So it's, again, stealth, you know, making sure you're not announcing your arrival. Ooh, I don't know what happened there, but I like it. Maybe I think this one has splat bombs, so maybe they just had a double bomb there. So that's a huge momentum swing. Hopefully this K-Pro's in a beautiful position right now. If they move up over the grates and take this position right here, they're going to be really annoying to move out. It's going to be difficult for anybody to come in over this angle, and they can also shoot down at anyone aggressing the tower. So I hope they start moving forward soon. Oh, they decided to take the rail and go up over the top. Okay, I can respect that too. That's a good idea. Okay, so you spot that there are 2 players down. Your team has the advantage, and you jump in. I'm surprised that you actually ended up here. I thought you were going to be on the platform before. No. So
I was shocked as well because it looked like the jump was on the rail.
Right, I thought so too. So unlucky that you end up here because now you're in a whole bunch of enemy ink, but at least you've got some cover. What I would probably do is try to get behind the tower here and use that for cover because it's going to push backwards and I'm not going to be stuck in the enemy court with so much green ink around me. Like,
yeah.
You ran into, who was it? I think the Tri-Slosher? Yeah, that's the Tri-Slosher right there. You ran into them, and what would have been smart of them would be to just take this fight against you right here, because the K-Pro has a really difficult angle if they want to try and hit this, and you're separated from the rest of your team by this wall of, like, well, this wall here, and also the tower being in the way of ramp. So they have no way to push in to help you very quickly. Tri-Slosher should take this and should win it every time, but they opt not to go for it, and you kind of just get away. Okay, they finally went after it there, but if they had recognized that faster, those 2 sloshes that they hit, you know, as you were retreating from them, hit, and they beat you there. This is a little bit conservative of a way back, because remember, the tower is forming kind of a barrier between the enemy team and mid, at least on the right side of the map right now. So what you could have done is just dropped here and used this side to get back up to ramp. You don't have to drop all the way down into here. This is costing you extra time to paint up the walls. And you don't have to paint the far back wall to get back. You could paint a side wall instead and be further forward in mid when you get up. See, like, once you get up, the fight has already happened. Like, your teammate gets a pick right here. You could have been involved in that fight if you had gone up the side instead and come around maybe the left-hand side. But now you're, you know, this far away from the tower. And yes, your team ended up winning that, but what really, you know, anytime that you leave something up to your teammates, you got to think of it as RNG. It's a coin flip. It's a roll of the dice. It could go your way, but what you should try to think is, like, if I'm leaving something up to my teammates, I should assume that they're going to lose that. You know, plan for the worst so that you're not going to put yourself in a situation where you count on your teammates and they end up not coming through.
Yeah.
So this is a little unfortunate because we get here. Okay, let's back up for a second because you do get a good pick here. So here, the Clash Blaster fires a shot, but you can see that that shot is aimed at the tower. And so this is less of a bad idea than the first push was, because they're clearly not focused on you, they're focused on the tower instead. And you recognize that very quickly as you come up here. You're like, oh, they fell past me. And this is really good aim, actually. This is a really good job that you do getting your aim flipped around right on top of them. It's unfortunate the tower starts moving backwards right at the wrong moment. From here, once you realize you got stuffed by it, you should kind of think, okay, I'm probably not going to get forward. I'm probably not going to be able to get on the tower very quickly. They're going to be able to get in range of the tower before I can get on it. So let's play for control first. Let's play to keep ourselves alive. Right now, you and your teammate have no escape route. If the opponents push from in front, you guys are stuck. So the very first thing I'd do before I do anything else from this position is I'd paint your teammate's feet and paint this area here so that both you and them can run backwards and don't get taken out by like a single bomb or something.
Okay.
You're able to kind of fudge it on your way back. Actually, no. So you're able to fudge it on your way back because you're a shooter and you move fast. They are a Clash Blaster. Because they don't have their feet painted, they're stuck in this corner still, and they go down. So you actually, in this position, could have saved them by giving them a way out besides just, like, getting stuck on the wall here and getting lasered down by their Neo Splash. And now, there was a splash of ink that happened right here. I don't know if that's a player or not, but I'm pre-firing that before I try anything else. Because they could have pushed all the way around and flanked you before any of that went down. Like, right here... I'm going to back up just a little bit further. Yeah, you see a splash right there, and you see a flicker of ink right there. If somebody pops up right here, and you're still looking in this direction, you go down right away. So you're lucky that they didn't. You're lucky that they didn't come backwards to help in this fight. You're lucky that this player stayed in where their feet were painted and popped armor instead of trying to paint their way back out. There are a lot of things that they had to do wrong for you to be able to get away with that double. But good execution. Once you had that one player down, you immediately recognized where the second player was and made them miss their shots and got your own aim on faster. So that was pretty well played. I like the idea to bomb rush here. You can see that that's where the threat is coming from. You would probably want to bomb rush from a place that you have high ground most of the time, because this player from the left and then the players shooting from the right, they have so much range that, you know, because of height advantage, that they're actually able to just kind of force you backwards. Whereas if you had maybe done this from on top of tower, you might have gotten a little bit more of an angle on both of them. I would definitely, especially if you knew someone was up here, put a bomb on the underside of this grate. You'd be surprised how many times people don't see that, walk out onto the grate, and get splatted by it.
Oh yeah, no, I think I did that once recently.
We don't really have to fight for tower here. You have a push to 8, they have a push to 68. You have 2 more checkpoints than they do, and you're really close to knocking it out, and there are only 45 seconds left. The best case scenario is you keep the push going, but you're in a 3v4 and it's the end of the game. The worst case scenario is they splat you, they stagger your team, and that is the situation that allows them to get a good push off.
Yeah.
So with this little time left in the game, and with a push this good, rather than defending tower here, what you'd really rather be doing is backing up and making sure they don't get that one good chance to have a push. So that making sure that you do have specials when it's time to make the last defense. That's you're not causing a stagger when you need to all be alive to stop the tower. Because this is the best push that they're going to get all game. And if that Clash Blaster gets you, they get that checkpoint for sure. I think they end up getting it, but because you're able to get away, it's okay. But being on the rail here, I don't think does you any favors, because they can see that you're moving over. I think the rail is fine, but I think you need to get further over on the left, because like from this position, Clash shooting over, they probably should splat you here. They just have to hit 2 directs.
No,
They do hit you two or three times, so that's really risky that you go forward that quickly. What you want to do instead, and it's like I was talking about with up on closed before, take 1 second once you have that high ground to look and figure out where everybody is before you go in for something. That's what clues you in. Oh, there is a Clash Blaster here. I can't walk that far forward, and that's what prevents you from getting picked. They probably should have been able to pick you here.
Okay.
Good job getting away. Good job sitting in here and healing and getting ink back. The Clash, remember, dropped down in front, and they do already know you're here. So just shooting at the tower, you probably want to take a separate position at that point. You've got 2 players cleared off of it, so you could probably drop down and start putting pressure from this side, knowing you already have teammates on the left anyway.
Okay.
But good job once you spot the Clash Blaster dealing with that threat. Good job getting this pick here. That'll make it a pretty easy retake on the tower. No way that they're going to get back on it at this point, and your teammate is able to get back on. There are only 5 seconds left. Booyah, 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 squid party, hooray.
Yes. Like you do at the end of a game that's inevitably going to win.
Mm-hmm. We don't actually get to see the results screen at the end there, unfortunately, but...
because I did want to. I can probably go and open up that, if you want.
But that's usually something I comment on right at the end there. But so overall, generally, your mechanics are above the level of the players that you're playing against in this rank. So bear that in mind. Realize that will stop happening once you reach a certain point, that you will stop being able to outplay them that hard. And that there are a few situations where you are putting yourself at a little bit of a disadvantage and then making up for it by aiming better. So when you're about to drop over a ledge, always think twice. Always think, is this a ledge I want to be dropping over? Do I have an escape route once I drop over this ledge? If somebody is looking at me, what is my game plan for what I do about them? Because there are a couple of situations where you drop over ledge without a plan, and it gets you into some trouble. Secondly, stealth. Be less... make fewer announcements that you're about to flank. Make it so that somebody who's more aware is still not going to know what hit them unless they were actively checking the map ahead of time.
Yeah.
And lastly, with your bomb rushes, think ahead of time on a given map. What are the spots that I actually get something out of a bomb rush from? Because standing in mid and having to throw them up over ramp or something, you didn't have very many places you could actually put a bomb successfully. So instead of just kind of awkwardly trying to wing it and make the bomb rush work wherever you're standing, the real thing you should be trying to do is have a game plan for, once we get control, I am going to go to this spot where I know a bomb rush works really well, and then I am going to bomb rush, and that bomb rush is actually going to give me impact.
Okay.
So already have in mind, okay, once I get picks, I'm being magneted towards this area of the map. This is the part where I already know that I want to be. And once you know that you're going to want to be there, you'll get there faster, and you'll be able to use that special, and it's going to have a bigger impact, and you're going to really take control of the game at that point.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for submitting your footage. We're going to move over to Kirb now.
Hello. By the way, Gem and DMs, I sent you my gear if you want to look at it.
Okay. Yeah, I can. I've already talked a little bit about my gear, so I'm not going to do too much talking about that. So you've got your 2.4 MPU. You've got some swim speed. Valid choice. I don't know that you need the sub saver because, again, this is not a very ink hungry weapon.
I was just kind of grinding out the gear, so that's the reason why.
Yeah, sure thing.
It's still cleaning it up. Yeah.
Literally everything except for that sub is something I can totally get behind. I again personally recommend the sub power up, but that is not something that is coming from a place of being a top level player. So totally valid if you prefer the swim speed instead. Swim speed is never a bad choice, especially on a weapon like that one. Okay. I'm going to scroll up really quick and read through chat for just a second before I jump into the next VOD review.
Don't worry about it.
I'm a little bit too high up. There we go. Swift is asking, when did you start playing? I got the game in April of 2018. And then I was on my first competitive team by December 1st was our first official practice. We'd officially decided to start playing together in November, and then December 1st was the first time I think we practiced. Devi can correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Oh, no, you're right.
There we go. How much do you need to fix the fall off? The Neo Splash, I believe, has perfect accuracy while airborne. So I'm not sure. That's so far back that, you know, we're probably talking about something completely different. That's from almost an hour ago. Luna or Lunar, usually. Okay, gotcha. Playing less than I learned a lot from you. Thank you, Whale Lord. I appreciate you saying that. I hate Arowana too. You're not alone in hating Arowana. There are many Arowana haters. A lot of just talking about people's powers.
I find Arowana is one of my favorite maps, mainly because of Splatoon 1, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, Splatoon 1, it felt very different. It was a lot smaller,
yeah,
lot more narrow.
I'm probably just nostalgia blinded, because Arowana Mall was the first map I played on.
Okay. I'd be so scared for Jem to see me play and say I take the worst interactions. That's not true, Tao. You're good at this game. Planting a tree. Well, that's a worthwhile thing to do. Everything in my brain. Okay. And that brings us all the way down through chat. Don't even remember my first map. I'm such a fake fan. I think the first map I ever played was the Reef. If that's what we're talking about there. Okay. So you should be able to see from Discord, from the projection there. Okay, cool. And we're all caught up on chat, so let's get started with our VOD review for Kirb. Also on the Neo Splash, and also a 1760 power level lobby, which is insane. They were just two Neo Splashes that both happened to be exactly the same power level. Or maybe not the same power level individually, but at least in the same lobby. So that's crazy. Okay, so this is a lot more normal a comp, I would say. I can't say I'm a fan of... oh, and also on tower control. I can't say I'm a fan of Blob Lobber on tower. I think that's just a misplay. That's not a weapon that does well at cleaning anybody off the tower because of the way you have to aim it. So that's kind of rough, but everything else makes complete sense. You know, obviously, you know, I would say run K-Shot instead of Splat Dualies right now, but, you know, they have missiles. That's going to be really good for defending the tower. Squeezer is just never a bad idea on any map mode. And then the other team, relatively meta, except for the Clash Blaster, and the Clash Blaster is most defensible on tower control, so here we are. They have double missiles, they have rain, and they have, I think that's the armor one, if I'm not mistaken. So, relatively normal comps here. No long range that you have to worry about, so it's nice that you don't have to like take cover from an E-leader. Something that I'm going to talk about mechanically right away, it's going to happen throughout the match, but you know, we first see it here and we might as well just address it and be done with it, is the way that you're painting and using your camera is a little bit jittery. Like you're trying to play fast is what's happening here. So let me really quickly pop into the training room and show you kind of what I mean. So scooches over so that I can see. Scooches the camera over so you can see me. Okay. So what you're doing a lot of in general is fire, one-shot swim, fire, one-shot swim, fire, one-shot swim, fire, one-shot swim. You're doing this sort of thing in situations where you have the time and the space to paint a whole line and swim through it. Because in the grand scheme of things, the fastest way to move in this game is paint a line, swim. Paint a line, swim. Paint a line, swim. This is faster than doing this. The reason that we do this, ever, is when we are in combat and need to be painting our feet to be able to get out of a dangerous situation. And when we're doing this, it's not because it's faster, because the faster way to paint our feet would be to do this. The reason we're doing this is because we need to be changing direction rapidly and dodging shots. And this is the fastest way that you can switch directions and still be painting your way out of a bad situation. So, in more situations, I want to see you just paint a straight line in front of you. It's really easy with this particular weapon. Like, with a splatter shot, if I just paint for that short a time, man, that was a beautiful line that painted. If I paint for that short of time, I get maybe like 2 shots out, and I don't necessarily have a clean line in front of me. Even if I paint so fast that I don't have a clean line, it's going to be faster in the long run to just keep swimming through it than stopping to paint that little dot and then moving forward. I want to see a little bit more of this sort of thing, where you paint a long line in front of you and then keep going after that. And that way you're going to be like able to move across the map quickly when you're not threatened. And you save these little dots for when you don't have to paint as much and you can just keep swimming after that. So like, if there's a little gap in the paint, then yeah, I paint maybe like one little thing like that. Or like that. But when you have a longer area like this in front of you, paint the whole thing and then just swim through it in one go instead of trying to like stop and correct. Reason I say that is twofold. One, like I said, it's just faster and more efficient to paint through it that way. But another thing that we'll see happens is that because we're doing this so much, look at how, like, the people with motion sickness are probably hating me right now, right? It's harder to see what's going on around me. My camera just isn't going to be as smooth. Like, I can do a little bit of something like this, but then I'm snapping my camera back so that I have a good angle to be watching while I swim. So, paint a line, and yeah, I have to move up and down a little bit, but then I get to keep it smooth the entire way that I'm swimming. And I'm able to gather information better that way as I'm moving around the map.
Yeah,
like
that makes a lot of sense.
Like I was talking about with GamORDoodle, it's something that's really important. Kiver talks about this a lot, and you know, it's really important for high-level Slayer play, is you need to be gathering as much information as you can, because it's really easy for you to walk into positions where you don't have an advantage. It's easy for you to just walk out into mid and get nailed by a long-range weapon just because they saw you walk into a bad position. And it's easy to walk into those bad positions because you at some point have to take a risk as a frontline weapon to be able to get close to someone so that you can get in range to hit them. And so you want to collect as much information as you can so that you lower the risk for yourself of pushing into a position, and you know that like there's nobody with longer range who's going to contest you by the time you get there. So that's something that we see here in this, you know, in this instance. But you know, it'll happen multiple times throughout the match. So right here, you paint that little bit right there twice, and you probably would have gotten off of the ledge faster, but without even painting it, by just swimming across. Remember also that when you're in your own paint and you move slightly outside your paint, you actually track a little bit of your own paint with you. That's a mechanic to make it easier to swim up over walls when you aren't quite there in time. The game actually puts a little bit of paint on the wall for you. And so, by the way, that's also a hide-and-seek strat. If you're playing hide-and-seek and you're not allowed to paint anymore, you can still create just a little bit more paint by moving to the edge of yours and like letting it slosh off you. So, pro tips there. But so, it would have been faster for you to not even paint this little bit at all and just swim straight off. But even if you're going to paint it, one pellet and then swim off. You don't have to do it twice. Like, all of that could have been 2 lines instead of, like, stopping and shooting 4 or 5 times. So, okay. All of that out of the way. We take a position on this wall, and you are rightfully scared because there's a blaster there. An X-rank blaster definitely gets that. Oh, wait, no, this is a clash blaster, so you might have actually gotten out of range successfully. These shots here, okay, so let's back up and see what information we had. As soon as I see this right here, maybe I take cover against the wall until they fire their shot, but then I want to get out of the way, because if this Squiffer here is aware, they should know that I'm here, they should see this paint going down, and they should be backing up and getting ready to one-shot me. So, I don't like that position already, just because the Squiffer's there, but it gets even worse when the Clash Blaster shows up. I feel like the Clash Blaster should probably be taking more of an angle to hit you here. Like, I think at X rank, you probably just die here, but you're able to get out of it. And good job recognizing you needed to and fleeing. So this entire time that you're backing up, you're looking at the floor. And then you whip the camera around. I don't know where anybody is at this point in time, because the information that we're getting from our camera is so jittery and all over the place that I can't really tell. Now, you know that someone's on tower, so you fire some shots, your teammate's able to follow up with that, and you get the pick. But again, that shot from the Squiffer seems like it comes out of nowhere because we haven't been keeping our camera steady enough to see anything. And so that's the disadvantage that movement is going to put us at. I like the idea to throw the burst bombs. What I would probably have done here is throw one burst bomb, maybe the second one while you're in the air, but then immediately aim down so that I can paint the wall of the tower. Because you can see from right here that the bottom of it isn't really painted well for you. And so you're going to need to paint that more thoroughly. And then we do a lot of this like stuttering thing where we're, shooting it around and then swimming and then shooting it around and then swimming. It's like, it's a good habit to be in for combat. And so that's probably why you have it. But recognize when you're safe that you can just not do that and paint for efficient movement instead of painting to like keep yourself alive in a firefight. And I think part of the reason you don't know that you're safe is, again, because the movement is so jittery in the first place that you don't know where opponents are and you're just treating everything like you're in danger. But there are 2 opponents down. Now, I don't think you had to get off the tower here. I'm not sure if you intended to. It does look like you actually input backwards.
Yeah, I didn't intend to do that.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Because, what you want to do here is ride the tower, and then if you're going to get off the tower, at least, hop off onto this ledge and start pushing into mid. Because falling off the tower makes it take you, Let's actually count how long it takes you. So you fall off at 423. You could have been, in mid right now at 422. Instead, it takes you until about 416 to be able to get back up. So 6 seconds that fall cost you. And 6 seconds is half a respawn timer. That's half of the numbers advantage that you guys have. Now, fortunately, your teammates were in front of you and were able to get some picks, but you could have been there helping with that fight and made it much more likely. Again, whenever your teammates are left to their own devices, it's RNG. So I'm pointing this out, not because, falling off of something is such an egregious technical error, oh, how dare you think that was a good idea. No, it's not like that. What I'm trying to get you to realize is, the impact that a little movement flub like that can have, and so the importance, therefore, of working on movement so that you're not falling off of ledges at the wrong time, you're not falling into the water, things like that, because those actually do remove you from play for a really long time. So let's talk about the bomb rush here. You paint up enough for it on your way up. Now, if you're going to take the time to paint as much as you do, fire shots here, something else I'd like to point out about that movement is that you're not actually painting as much. I think you fire twice. I don't think any of those shots actually paint at all for special. And there is still blue on the ground that you could have been painting if you'd just taken a little bit more time to get a couple more shots out. So you do end up getting your special, and you pop it right away. Okay, so that's why this special is coming out. Your teammates are up in front of you and pushing players out of position, and they actually get a pick. So this special ends up not really having much of an impact. It's a common habit people get into, that as soon as they hear that ding ding, they pop the special right away. Because they're like, we're going to get as many specials as we possibly can out on the map. Not necessarily the best plan, because right now you already have control. Right now you don't need the special. Right now using the special is redundant, because you're going to paint up a bunch of stuff that you already have painted, and you're not going to displace any opponents. And then once the tower pushes down into the first checkpoint area, you're not going to have the special when they actually come back and start contesting you. So, like I say in the S Plus video, you don't use the special as soon as you have it. Use the special as soon as it's going to be impactful. Yeah, those bombs might have painted a little bit on the right-hand side, but they did not displace a single opponent. They didn't give you any paint that you couldn't have easily just gone and gotten with your main weapon faster. So, save that special, wait until you're seeing resistance, and then go for it. So I think what you're doing right here is waiting for the right flank. You're, like, worried that someone's going to come up from the bottom right. And I don't think you have any reason to believe that somebody's there. You could check the map. And if you are worried about this, a good idea would be to, like, put some paint over the top so that if they decide to climb up the wall, they have to go through your paint first, and you'll see that on the map. And you can check the map and, know that somebody's coming here without having to sit back here in mid and let everyone have easy access to the tower. I like the idea to maybe, like, push the camera over the ledge, and if you'd moved a little bit forward towards this wall, you could actually see over the ledge like that, and that would be another alternative option for how to check this. But sitting right here, let's see, how long are we over here? So we stopped the bomb rush at 412, and that's another, I think, 6 seconds that we're just sitting here out of play before we even start moving forward again. And once you start moving forward again, you've still been out of play for a while. It is only about now, at about 4:01, that you're able to have an impact on the match. That's about 11 seconds. That's your opponents went down, respawned, and are now back in a position where they can actually impact the tower, since you've just been sitting there. You get a little bit of paint, maybe, and you check the flank that nobody ended up taking. So it turns out there is somebody down here, right? But because we didn't move forward or paint forward or check more quickly and efficiently, we didn't really get a chance to do anything about them, and by the time we're getting down to help with the tower push, it's already a war zone here. What we could have done instead, and what I'm suggesting that you do, is when you do get a big advantage, like a 4v2 situation and your teammate is on the tower, push forward. Take ground away from your opponents, and at some point, when you're pushing forward, you're going to run into them. They're going to respawn, and you're going to be the first person that they run into, and they're probably going to, have numbers advantage over you. It's not going to be a good fight to take. But then, if you run away, they still have to paint up everything that you've painted that is in your way. They also realize that there's someone in front of you, and so they're going to have to push forward more slowly and cautiously as they move towards the tower. You stall them much, much more from being able to get in position to stop the tower by being out in front of the tower than you do by sitting behind the tower in mid and then going in once the fight starts. So what you want to be doing there, instead of sitting in mid like that, is pushing out and getting control of their court, and then finding a place to shark so that when they arrive, you're already in the way and you're able to take out some of the key defensive positions. Dropping down here, it's unfortunate that the blaster ends up being back there, and they should probably be able to do more than they do to you for having your back like that. But also, that's information that you could have collected more quickly and efficiently and thoroughly if, instead of sitting there and waiting for them to flank you, you had just checked your map and seen, oh, they painted over me. You had maybe looked over the ledge like I was talking about, and then kept moving forward. And, then maybe when you drop down here, to be looking to the right and to see them right away. So now you end up back here. And right here... So I think you're looking backwards to check for the Clash Blaster, which is understandable. But once you get around this corner, you know, especially if you're committing to being up here on the upper left, the Clash Blaster can't do anything to you anymore. So at this point, you stop worrying about them, and you worry about what can impact you, which is if there's somebody up here. And so we could have turned our camera so that we could see this guy a lot earlier than we do here, and that would have given you more time to react and get this pick. Fortunately, your teammate was already getting their attention. They were distracted. They had no way of spotting you there. But you get more initiative over that player if you spot them a little bit earlier, which happens if you're turning the camera to look at what's really more important there. I'm a little worried about your positioning right now because your teammates are mostly behind you, and you've got your back turned to the enemy spawn. So somebody could just walk up behind you while you're trying to attack the tower here and do something. The fact that the Clash Blaster doesn't is surprising to me because I feel like my first thought being that Clash Blaster is like, oh, I saw that Neo Splash go up there and they just threw burst bombs over there. So I could like shoot at them from in front, or I could come behind them and shoot at them from here. And instead they decide to not do that and go up over here on the left. Now, pushing them, again, I got to talk about this with GamORDoodles as well. A Clash Blaster is, again, a DPS matchup. You beat it by out-DPSing it. And in this position, your aim wasn't sure enough while you're hitting them here that you're going to win that. As soon as you see the first blast come out and you're not hitting your shots, you've got to try and paint your feet and get out of there. That's when you want that fast paint and you're just backing straight up out of their range, and that's the way that you're going to survive this. I don't know if you do survive it. I expect that this player probably misses at least one shot, and that gives you enough time to get away, though. So, if they don't miss that shot, I don't know. X-Rank Clash Blaster might stop you there. Hard to say. But your best shot is definitely, as soon as they fire one shot, you realize this is a Clash Blaster and I'm not hitting my shots on it, you back up and get out of there. And, you know, you realize they are pre-firing me, they're getting damaged first, I don't have my shots on, I don't win this. Okay, nice. I like that you're, you know, taking the fastest movement option to get to mid. From right here, it's wise to use right side peek here and try and get a view of what's going on in mid before you go around that corner. Because you can see that your teammate just got splatted here. So you know there's some kind of danger in this area. You're just not sure exactly what. And it ends up being right here. And you're lucky to get away with that. I think what this player should have done is rolled so that they weren't missing half their shots by being in double reticle mode. And they are easily firing enough shots to actually splat you. They also hurt themselves here. They walk around cover. They, like, cut their own shots off through the way they're moving here, which is weird because they have the initiative. They're hitting you first. They should be trying to get around the cover and make sure that you can't get away. But instead, they just run away from you. And a winning fight? Okay. I mean, that's a freebie, but they should have had you there. These burst bombs, I'm going to say exactly the same thing I said to GamORDoodles, which is you're giving away more information than you need to here. What you can do here instead is shark on this spot for 1 second, spot where everybody is here. You know, you can spot movement and determine which direction they're going. Decide whether you know that you have their backs or not, because what's going to happen if this guy has spotted you here is they're going to fire shots over here and they're going to look at you. And so that's a clue that, oh, this is not safe to drop down into a sea of blue ink for. I'm going to back up. And you make sure that you're going to get those picks and you've got your aim on right away. These burst bombs here, they do paint their feet and they do, you know, land, but they seem to be fired a little bit randomly. Like, looking from the position that you had in the frames leading up to this, you can see this little, like, flash, I guess, starting right here. Okay, there's no way you saw that, because like the frame after you see this flash is when the burst bomb comes out. So you're throwing these burst bombs before you actually know that somebody's over there. Let me see if there's anything else you might know to have been aiming at. I guess your teammate is fighting someone over here, and so maybe you're throwing burst bombs to try and support them, but they're already retreating by the time you throw them. And so you kind of just get lucky that these land on these opponents and reveal them so well, and that they're also not looking at you even after you throw burst bombs at them. There's a lot of things that go your way in order for you to get this so cleanly. At X rank, you land one burst bomb on this guy and he's immediately looking at you because he knows that this player can't contest him. This player's too far away to do any damage to this guy. And so this guy knows, oh, something else is threatening me. I need to look over here. And that is a blaster, and they probably could have gotten a couple directs and taken you out on your way in. Another thing about waiting and getting your information is you get this pick. What I'd probably be trying to do, if nobody's immediately engaging me, is maybe even paint a little bit. Because right now I'm in a sea of blue ink, and if I put myself further into this sea of blue ink, I'm sandwiching myself between this player and this player. If you paint an escape route and back up after you get that pick, these players should be like, oh shoot, someone just went down on the left. I need to, rotate to this. And they run after you, but you're already backing up, and then your teammate gets to have their backs. Or if they don't pay any attention to you, then you still have time to go and chase them and force them into your teammate. But if you go straight in without collecting that information, this NZAP who drops down here, they should see you. You just splatted someone on the left. Like, you threw burst bombs over here. This player has no excuse to not be, like, looking directly at you right now, because the information was right in front of their faces, and they just kind of dropped down over a ledge. Now, if they drop down and surprise you like that, and they have their aim on because they know where you are, you haven't had the time to notice that this player is here, and they win that fight. So that's how that probably goes at X rank. You get that one pick, and then this zap takes you out. And that one pick, the blaster probably damages you a little bit first, because they at least spotted you on the way in, and so this zap only needs 1 or 2 shots to get you at that point. So this flank is a lot more destructive right now because your opponents are not as aware of where you're coming in from. Right now, you're in a really tough spot because there's a player behind you and there's an enemy player in front of you, and your teammates are really nowhere to be found right now. And you should be going down, but nobody's paying any attention to you. I'm almost a little upset at your teammates, not your teammates, at your opponents, for not punishing you. And for really tunnel visioning on the tower super hard. Okay, that fight with the zap right there, this happens because the zap sees you before you see them. And that's really what should have happened the first time that the zap dropped it down on you like this. They had a chance to be behind cover at height advantage and see you coming before you took a second to look around and see where the danger was going to be coming from. And so they were able to drop down and take this fight well and win it against you. So that's what should have happened maybe like 10 seconds ago, but I mean, better late than never, I guess. But your teammates are in a good position now. They're able to hang out on the tower long enough. Ooh. So this jump, so you already know that there's an enemy on the tower because they just got there. Now, okay, I guess when you jump, you've checked to see that that player is down. So I dislike that less, but I would still have jumped to this player instead. Reason being, there's a lot of blue ink here. This is the closest that an opponent can possibly be to the tower right now, and there's nobody in between this blue ink and the tower. So the threat is going to be coming from the right-hand side, if anywhere. I would jump further away from that, and then, if I want to get to the tower from there, I'm super close, and I've got high ground over it. If this player gets rushed right away and gets taken out, well, I've got height advantage over that player now, and I can win that fight. But putting a second player on tower is always a risk, and putting a second player on tower with a super jump, where the arrow is going to land on the tower, and that's going to be like a beacon of light that the opponents are going to look at, especially with how badly they've been tunnel visioning the tower so far. That's a really big risk to take compared to jumping out to here in a much safer position. So I'm surprised that this isn't safe, honestly. Like, the squeezer should probably have paid attention to the fact that their teammate went down and someone, you know, took the tower and been shooting at that first and been protecting your jump. There are a lot of reasons that the squeezer should probably be looking over here instead, but jumping to the squeezer is still the safer bet. Okay, so now your team is 3 down, and this is a little bit scary. The Bloblobber pops rain, which might slow down the push a little bit. I kind of wish the blob had saved the rain for when they got onto the tower. But I don't hate the idea of using a special to stall right now. Because, you know, you look at the score, it's 65 to 75. Now, granted, this is how Wahoo World works on tower control. Wahoo World is a map that is so freaking difficult to push through first checkpoint. It's just, you get no advantages standing up on this tower. You don't have any cover. You're out in the open. You're on low ground. They can shoot you from literally every angle around the tower. And it's just so hard to push through this first checkpoint well. You need to push them back very far to make it safe to go through there. So it's not necessarily the easiest thing for them to take lead. But this is the best chance they'll have had all game to do it. Because they've got you 3 down. They stand the chance of staggering you here. So this is a situation where you have to go, okay, we cannot go down a second time. If we go down a second time, we lose the lead here. And so we want to make sure that our specials are getting used impactfully. We want to make sure that before we fight, we have a special ready to go. And we want to make sure that we've got all of the paint we need and all of the escape routes we need so that when a fight does break out, we're well prepared. So that's your priority right now. I like your painting more as the match has started. It was like maybe you were a little bit jittery at first, but like the way that you get out from spawn here is significantly better. And you're also able to collect more information that way. Namely, that there's someone on the tower who's not watching this angle at all, and that nobody in mid is contesting it. So you get a free pick, which is super nice. Now from here, dropping down is not what I want to do. There is a rain cloud going out here. You know there's an opponent down here for sure. This whole area is painted blue. This is a very scary place to drop, and you're putting yourself in a position where you're unlikely to be able to stop the tower. What I'd be doing instead is trying to go out around the right-hand side so I can use right-hand peek advantage and I can get out of this rain cloud. And I also don't have to worry about the person who's in mid. You get out of it, fortunately, because you end up dropping with the tower in between you and them. But that's not a guarantee with the amount of information that you had about your opponent's positioning dropping down in the first place. So it's kind of lucky, I would say, that you end up living when you drop down here. This Clash Blaster could be going in any number of different directions. The smart thing, I think, for them to do... you had a teammate who was in the left-hand side that they were shooting at earlier, I think, right? Maybe. If you have a teammate back here to the left, then maybe they can't right-side peek this, but probably the smart thing for them to do is drop off the tower, right-side peek you, and then you're stuck in the rain and also getting hit from, you know, right-side peek, so it's harder for you to hit them, and your escape route only makes it so that they have cover, and they can keep right-side peeking you. So, okay, you did have a teammate down there, so they probably didn't want to take that, but... Okay. That was CDS. Oh, they actually had a CDS there, too. So, yeah, the CDS, I think... I don't know where the CDS came from, but that was a really dangerous position to drop in from, and you're fortunate that you got away with a trade and not just losing yourself for nothing. Oh, the Swiffer's up there, too, with armor. That's really scary to be pushing the tower back into. I'm surprised your teammate got away with it. Talking again about painting. From here... When you're shooting, you can immediately just strafe off of those shots. So if you're going to shoot, instead of shooting and then deciding to sub-strafe, you can just shot strafe.
You're tabbed into the game right now.
Oh.
Unless those. On purpose.
My bad, my bad. I think I know what happened. Yeah, I used a hotkey. My bad. I can back up for a second. How long has it been like that?
Ever since the trade.
Okay. Gotcha. My bad, my bad. I need to get rid of all my hotkeys. And thank you, like, if that ever happens again, interrupt me immediately. Okay, but going back to the painting here. So you paint this, which is fine. I think if you're going to paint it thoroughly. You know, something that happens to a lot of like S+ and low-level X-rank players is they move from one idea of what to do to the next so quickly that they never really complete the first idea they had. If you're going to commit to painting something, then paint it thoroughly. Like, stand here for just a second, paint the whole thing, and then swim through it so that you don't have little splotches of ink and you're not, you know, cutting yourself off. Then when you finish shooting here, shooting stops your momentum, so there's no reason to have to substrafe at that point. You could just shot strafe out of it and take less time. All right, so at this point we've got enough painted that it's not super worth it to like take a lot of time and paint everything. We kind of just want to get to the front lines. There might have been an opportunity to jump here. Like at this point where I'm seeing, okay, there's not really anything interesting to paint right now, I'd probably look to try and jump the tower and get in there a little bit faster, because it's going to take you from 156 to about 151 to get to that same position, where you could have done that in about 2.5 seconds by super jumping. So we know that there is a squiffer up here. We've been hearing the sound. We've been seeing the laser. Firing shots from here and just standing out here in the open is really scary, especially as this laser starts to drift over here. This laser can absolutely hit you from here. And they try to, and you drop past it and they miss, but at X rank you get shot for that before you even get off the ground. And they do end up actually picking you in the end, because you just don't have enough cover when you drop down. There's also someone behind the tower. So what you want to be doing from here instead is using, you know, staying a little bit behind this corner and painting down here and seeing if there is an opportunity for you to get in. Because dropping down, you see way too much blue down there to think that this is safe to drop into. And the only reason you would want to drop in is to avoid shots or get behind tower into some defensive position or something. But again, you can see even underneath you, there's blue ink, so you have no escape routes here. If there's anybody whatsoever besides the squiffer in this position, you're in trouble when you drop down. Probably just stay in mid and stay safe at this point, especially since you have lead. When you have lead, especially a lead that you have shown you're able to hold for a significant amount of time, take fewer risks. The more risks you take, the more opportunities you give your opponents back into the game. You can maintain the status quo. You can like just leave the tower down there and let it maybe start slowly coming back up. You can maybe just kind of hold mid and things will be okay because you have the lead. But pushing down into there and going down and potentially staggering, that's when things can go wrong. So your teammates are actually going for it, and they end up going down because there's nobody out there in front of them, and they're in a sea of blue ink. So they're kind of trying the same thing you did earlier, and we're starting to stagger a little bit. And now another teammate goes down to a squiffer. So when you see, you know, I've gone down, and then a teammate has gone down, and then another teammate has gone down, bear in mind that not only are you at a numbers disadvantage, but you're going to be for a significant amount of time now because you've staggered rather than all going down at once. So right now, I don't want you contesting tower at all. You're not at, you know, your weapon's range to do so, and there are multiple weapons from here that actually every single weapon on their comp outranges you at least a little bit. And since they have height advantage, they outrange you by a little more. So taking this fight is really risky. You don't have a lot of cover once the tower gets into mid. You might just want to back up here. This shark here, an X-rank player checks this and makes sure you're not still there. But if they're not going to check it, this is great. Yeah, they didn't even turn around. As soon as the burst bomb hits, the CDS should be responding and doing something about it. That's, again, lack of awareness on the opponent's part. But you're able to take advantage of it. Just realize that, like, when you get a flank like this, once you hit X rank, you're going to have way, way less time before they start looking at you. Like, the reaction time is going to be cut into, like, it's going to be like 1/3 of what it is here. this player is already landing shots on you in X rank, and they haven't even turned around yet. This is a good job on your part, recognizing you don't want this. Okay, you don't recognize you don't want this fight yet. So getting around cover is great because they have initiative on you and you need to break that line of fire. But from this position, the CDS cannot be approached. If they are, competent on that weapon, what's going to happen as soon as you show your face is they roll backwards and they're still hitting you and you can't hit them. And then if you push forward, they roll backwards again and you're already dead at that point. They don't even necessarily need jump tech to win this fight against you. They can just literally roll backwards with their dualies and just pre-fire in turret mode, and you can't really approach them because they have right side peek and you don't. So from here, what I'm thinking is I want to sit around this corner and wait for this jump to come in, and then try to punish the jump as soon as it lands. And you splat this jumper before the CDS can do anything about it, because the CDS has a slower time to kill. It also will get shot blocked as soon as their teammate lands. So you can wait until you see black on the arrow, then move out and start pre-firing it. But instead, because of the timing that you go out there, you go out too early to hit the arrow. The CDS is still in position and still is looking at you and trying to shoot at you, and you get picked for it instead of being able to get a free pick on the jumper and then getting away before the CDS splats you in time. Okay, so your teammates are doing a good job of controlling mid. Hopefully they're able to control the tower pretty soon. I don't disagree with them going after this player in mid here and getting rid of them, because this player poses a threat to anyone who's trying to swing around the tower. So it's not a bad idea for them to take this fight, but the other team is not very far away from getting lead. Oh, you do have someone below and someone above. Okay. So I agree more with that player taking that fight on the left, because they had multiple teammates that were ready to defend the tower. You get a wipe. Good stuff. So good job to your teammates. But again, remember, anytime you go down, the game is effectively in a state of RNG for the next 10 seconds. You don't have any control over what happens. You might as well consider it a random occurrence, whether your team wins or loses. So, you basically took a risk there. You put yourself in, you gave yourself another pair of dice to roll to see whether you were going to come out on top of that situation. I like this bomb rush. So you see that there's somebody in there and everybody has range on you. You don't want to contest it, but you can just throw a bunch of bombs in their way, keep yourself safe, and all of these bombs are still painting enemy turf as you throw them. Rather than landing on your own ink and being completely redundant and useless to the game, they're landing on paint that your enemy wants to control and is actually painting over. And you're controlling space, too. If those opponents push at you, well, now they have to watch out for the radius around your bombs, and that limits where they can be. And now your squeezer is watching and is putting bubbles over, and your squeezer gets someone. And, that's the kind of chaos you want to create in the enemy defensive position with this bomb rush. And you did it from a safe place where there was no chance that any of them are going to be able to push you. That's the best bomb rush that I've seen you use all game. And then you see someone over here, you realize because they're swimming to the left that they do not know you're here yet. So you know you have that their backs, you get their feet painted. What you might have wanted to do here instead of throw that bomb, because again, at X rank, this player is going to be like, oh shoot, they're looking at me, and they're going to have their aim on by the time you are in weapon range. Instead of throwing the burst bomb, just don't, and swim closer to them so that you're sure you're in range by the time the fight starts. Because during all of that time that you were swimming, someone with a faster reaction time could already have been starting to pre-fire you and get shots out. And that's the only way that you that you lose this fight. So the one, nitpicky thing I can say here is, oh, they don't know I'm here. Let's paint my feet right here, swim up as close as we can possibly get to them, and then be right on top of them and delete them before they can do anything about it. Nice. The burst bomb, there's a rationale for using it, and that rationale is I need to cut off their retreat. I can't let them go any further backwards. But the thing is, their whole escape route is painted. So all you have to do is close distance. You swim up to right here. There is nowhere that they can possibly get in any amount of time to get away from you if you get to this position. And you will get there undetected because they're looking the wrong way. All right. And so we take that guy out. we do need to watch out for this player, and they are the only player we need to watch out for. We have 2 of them down, and this is the only one that's going to have the range to be able to hit you in time. So get behind the pillar preemptively. You don't know if this player knows you're, on this side of the tower or not, but get on the side of the tower that puts the column between you and them, whether or not you think they're fighting you. Because all they have to do is fire one random shot here to try and paint it, and they direct you. Yeah, there was someone who did end up coming from the right, but again, it was the NZAP. Like, they don't have the range to be able to hit you until they're like really close to you. What you could do is put the column in between you and the charger, and then glance right while you know that you're in relative safety, and then glance back and reposition on the tower as needed, and be looking back and forth. That's one way that you could get information from both directions and be defending yourself against both sides. But you want to make sure that you especially can't get one shot. Like, a laser should immediately signal take cover under any circumstances. Like, seeing a charger laser should be, Pavlovian response. Like, you should be conditioned to just immediately dodge behind cover and make sure that it does not have line of sight on you, regardless of whether you think it sees you. Okay, so this is an awkward position to be fighting the Zap from, because they can, get further back on the tower and limit the size of the target that you have to hit them from. Because you'll hit the wall instead of hitting them if you aim too low on their body. So this is a position that the Zap should be able to beat you in. They should be able to right side peek around the right side of the tower and have a better angle. So you normally would want to reposition here, but the thing is, the NZAP just doesn't pay any attention to you at all, which is crazy because you were just there on the tower and they saw you drop off the tower and you're the only thing that's like in their way. I think they're just like tunneling on the objective or something. But what should be happening is they should be firing back at you, which would force you to move, what I would say is move further to the left. That way, this player above doesn't have shots on you, and you have a better angle to be able to shoot over the tower from. Great shots on this guy. If you get those shots any later, you need to abandon the fight. It's not a bad trade to take, though. Like, as soon as you see that you've got those shots, you start taking it, and it's just a little bit unlucky that the Clash just happens to be respawning at this point in time. But another thing I would say is, from this position right here, there aren't that many of them that are down right now. If I'm going to drop off the tower, I want to drop off in the direction that I can retreat from and the direction that I have teammates. So instead of dropping off this way, you might be safer going back towards the left instead. And then the tower has to come back towards you, so you never end up in the position where you're separated from the tower and the tower is pushing away from you and your teammates are focusing on the tower while you're stuck alone in the enemy base. Instead, you could have backed up in this direction, and that would have made it so the tower has to push back towards you. CDS doesn't happen to have range of you. Anybody's respawning, you have height advantage, and they have to go further to get to you. So probably the big mistake is actually dropping on this side of the tower. Even so, though, you're able to make something of it. The CDS probably shouldn't get picked here, because they should see, oh, my Clash Blaster is coming in from behind, and this guy is already shooting at me, so as long as I just stay alive, the Clash Blaster wins the fight. So they don't react in time to being shot. But even so, good fight. You end up getting the checkpoint, and so you're going to be able to push the tower a lot further. This is a really solid position for your team to be in. This jump is safe. At this point, I don't think there's really a way that the other team wins. You've got bubbles in there. You just had way too much firepower on the tower. It actually gets a little bit closer than I was expecting it was going to. So from here, what you should really be doing, your teammates should be doing, is just don't push the tower. Just like get off the tower. You don't need to actually suicide for this push. And if this player goes down, now it's a 2v4. Now they actually do have a push. Whereas if they just backed up and had all 4 members up as soon as they saw any resistance to the tower, then the enemy team doesn't have anything. then they have to like use specials just to like displace you and get back on the tower. Then you can throw bombs on the tower and prevent them from getting back on it. I would say as soon as they get this checkpoint, you know, you've got a 2 checkpoint lead. There's 7 seconds left. Just play defense. And even if you're playing defense on their side of the map, just play defense a little bit. And that's what's more likely to win you the game than standing on tower and trying to, you know, do a tower dance to get maybe a few extra points. Bubbles were great from the squeezer. Well played. At this point, though, it is a 2v2 situation. So you want to be a little careful. You want to, you know, pause and know where opponents are before you take fights. You did get a slight flicker of Clash Blaster up on the top before, but you probably didn't see it. I didn't spot it the first time, so I don't blame you for missing it. I like the idea to come up and try and just get on tower right away, but as soon as you see Clash Blaster shots right here, drop back off, because now you realize you're in a 2v1, and you should go down here. Fortunately, you splat them before they splat you, but if you hadn't, then what happens there is it's a 2v1, your teammate is off the tower and behind the tower. The Clash Blaster can probably actually clean that up, and the opposing team gets another push. So again, at that position, you can just back up and play defense rather than trying to fight for tower more. You don't need to control the objective at the end by being on top of it. You can control it by surrounding it and making it impossible for them to get on top of. And then once you've made them think twice about trying to get on top of it, then maybe you find an opportunity to jump on it and just end the game immediately. Or
Interesting.
they feed into getting onto the tower and you splat them as they try to get onto the tower, and then you get on it afterwards because the one player who's close enough to get on has gone down.
Yeah, I guess it was just like a fight or flight response or whatever. Because like as soon as I saw overtime, my goal was to just tunnel vision on getting the person on the tower and regaining power.
It's good to target the player on tower, you know, whenever you can. Harass them as much as possible. Maybe give your teammates some shots. Like if you burst bomb one side of the tower, then the squeezer can pick them from the other side of the tower, and they have nowhere to go, right? So you can get that kind of a play, but let's see. They were at, it was pushed to 28 in your favor. So they need to push from 28 in your favor all the way to 27 in their favor. So that's 72 plus 73. They need to push 145 ticks on the tower before they have lead. So take a fight for the tower when you have an advantage, right? It doesn't have to happen in these, 5 seconds that you have right here. You can run all the way back into mid and just throw burst bombs at the tower if you want to. You can shark in their court, wait for it to turn a corner and for that player to not be looking at you, and then shoot them in the back. You have a lot of different options, and throwing yourself at the tower doesn't necessarily give you the best chance of stopping it. All you have to do is stop it. You don't have to stop it fast. So keep that in mind and play it safe if you are being threatened by multiple players. If there's any chance whatsoever that the fight doesn't go in your favor, don't take it and wait for one that will go in your favor. So,
yeah, it makes more sense now.
Generally, I mean, you're pretty much the MVP here. You got a whole bunch of picks, and a lot of those were important ones. Your bomb rush largely cleared the way so that your team could push through the checkpoints. You are basically the reason that your team was able to get through 2 checkpoints because that bomb rush cleared them out so well. So there are a lot of good things to be said about how you played here. And I don't want you walking away with like, oh man, I'm doing so many things wrong. Like, I'm trying to get you to X rank here. I'm talking about things where
I'm taking a look at this like constructive criticism more than anything.
Like, this is when you get to X rank, these things are going to be an issue. These things are going to need to improve. But you have plenty of time because I think you're at like S+0 or something. That was what I think the other one was at before.
It was like S+1, S+0 around there.
Yeah, something like that. So like you've got 9 more ranks. You've got the entire length of the ranked bar that you've made it past so far before you get to X rank. And so these are some goals to be working on so that by the time you do get all the way up to X rank, you're already up to par. You're already doing the same things that those X rank players are doing. You're going to stand a better chance of being able to hang there in X rank once you actually get that Wakanda salute.
And I already have a feel for how X rank is because I do play X rank time to time with like people who are X rank. So I do have an idea on how like people play and how I can change my play style to adapt to however that match will turn out.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's awesome. General takeaways to sum it all up. Number one, make sure that your camera is giving you the information that you need to make a good decision and take a good fight. Number two, do not drop over ledges where there is enemy paint below you. That is the single most vulnerable place that you can put yourself in Splatoon. And if there is even one opponent down there, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage in the 1v1 against them, and you should lose. So look before you leap. Anytime you see a laser, take cover immediately. That should be like an immediate adrenaline rush instinct. And use your bomb rushes when they're going to be impactful. And the other big thing was when you take an advantage, you as the frontliner, it's your job to push up in front of the tower. And I'm going to illustrate that kind of in the way that FLC will in some of those videos, but we'll show it on the same map that we were watching before. Wahoo World, and we want the top down. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Okay, so hopefully you can see this pretty decently well. So
Yeah, I see it.
you're here. Oh my god, let's my hand is a little jittery. Okay, you're right here, and you're in a 4v2 situation. The tower needs to follow this path. So how do you make sure that with this lead you have, you're able to snowball that lead and get the tower through checkpoints? Well, you need to be able to prevent the opposing team from shooting at this line right here. So where can they shoot at this line from? They can shoot at this line from up here. They can shoot at this line from here. They can shoot at this line from here. Longer range weapons can take this position. And once it gets to second checkpoint, they can shoot at that from up here. They could, I guess, be up here if they have time to set up, but they usually don't. Usually if they're going to defend, it's going to be from right here. So I'll leave that one out, but that is something to think about. Besides, you're on the right-hand side, so you're less likely to deal with this than your teammates are over here. So why was that such a good bomb rush? Well, your teammates had this area clear, so you didn't need to worry about this position right here. Because you've got friends that are right here. I've got an idea. I'm going to make your team circles and their team X's. And we're playing tic-tac-toe here. So your team has this left side covered. So they'll be able to hold it down and prevent anyone from getting in on the left side. You know, anybody who tries to come from this area is going to run into your squeezer and is going to be sad. And anybody who tries to take a position up here is going to get shot by your squeezer as well. So you don't need to worry as much about the left-hand side. What do you need to worry about? You need to worry about someone who's here, and someone who's here. If you bomb rush this general area right here, that prevents all of those positions from getting established. If you push in from here and like take this position, nobody can get in to the tower from the right-hand side. They all get funneled this way. They all get funneled away from the positions where they can defend sooner and forced into positions where they can defend later. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Well, I guess we're leaving it that way. So you, by doing that bomb rush, have now forced everybody on the opposing team to either come out from here and try and retake this position, or to all be bottled up on this left-hand side. And you know what works really well on this left-hand side? Your squeezer's bubbles. So because you just completely secure this entire side of the map right here, your team is able to focus all of their efforts on the left, which is the only place that the enemy team has left to defend. And that's why that push worked really, really well for you. You secured an entire side of the map that they could defend from. And it was the side of the map that they're going to want to defend from on first checkpoint. This right here is probably the single place that the most first checkpoint pushes get stopped from. Second only probably to this place, if anything. If you haven't cleared them out of these two places, then the first checkpoint is doomed. And you do that. You clear them out of here before the tower gets there with that bomb rush. On the first push, because you don't do anything to this right-hand side, or you don't do anything to push them out in this direction, by the time you maneuver your way over here and the tower is at the first checkpoint here, there's already someone here, there's already someone here, there's already someone below the tower, and all of this area around the tower is painted the wrong color. It's a death trap at that point. And so the difference is that instead of your team controlling this entire zone right here, your team controls this zone. And you see the tower is outside of your zone of control at this point. So the tower cannot move forward by your hands unless your opponents are really, really, really bad at shooting someone off the tower in a 3v1 situation. So hopefully that illustrated the idea in an understandable way for you.
Yeah, that helped a lot.
All right. Well, I am 37 minutes over time, and I'm hungry, and I want to go eat dinner. So I'm going to say thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you to our VOD reviewees, both Kirb and
Thank you
GamORDoodls.
for doing this.
Absolutely. Always happy to. If you would like a VOD review like this, go to this Discord server here in the chat that I just put out there. Looks like that failed on Twitch for some reason, so I'm going to copy that and paste it again really quickly, and hopefully it'll work this time. There we go. It worked on Twitch that time. So go to that Discord server and just DM me. I am Gem, and that's how you'll be able to find me. Sus Gem currently. I have my little Amogus. And that's how you'll be able to request a VOD review like this for me. From me. We'll talk about scheduling. We'll talk about how you're going to record it. All of that stuff in the DM. So just find me there. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you again to our VOD reviewees. Thank you to Devi for subbing in and helping out, as always. I am Jem, and this has been Squid School. We'll see you next week.